Hey guys, welcome to Hey guys, welcome to Android App Addicts episode 609. After I figure I need to mute the live stream, my name is DoorToDoorGeek. This is Podnutz. This is Android App Addicts, all about Android hardware, software, ecosystems, and what we can do with other form factors of the same size. We are joined this evening by Josh and Ivor. Hey, Josh, how are you doing this evening?
I am doing all right, Door, up here in the spring of Vancouver Island. We overplanted like we always do. So I've got a basement full of tomatoes and cucumbers and other warm weather plants that are just taking over and growing out of control. They can't go outside because it's too cold, and so we just have to baby them until then. And then yesterday I found out that our Subaru blew a head gasket, and so we got that as well, which is pretty sweet. Um, Other than that, I mean, I guess the best thing I can say is that I'm not Ivor.
That's a blessing in anyone's book. Yeah.
So then how is
Just talk
everything
to my
going?
wife.
Oh, so how is everything going with you, Ivor?
It's going really well. I just had my oldest son. He's approaching his mid 30s. He broke his foot,
Mm,
and because he doesn't have a wife or a girlfriend at the moment, he was kind of on his own and struggling to cope with feeding and clothing and washing himself. So he came and stayed with us for a week and had the pleasure of his company for a while, and took him back last weekend to his place. So I hope he's getting on all right.
so
But apart from that, yeah, it's been great.
was it better to see him and hang with him, or better to drop him off?
It was. He seems to have become a committed socialist over the last few years. I don't know
Mm,
why, but
so that means he
he
gave you all his money?
no, he doesn't have any.
Thank you. Hashtag not shocked.
What a surprise! No, it was good. We had some great conversations, and he's actually one of the few left-leaning people who seems genuinely willing to actually listen to what you have to say to him,
That's good.
and consider your point of view. So that was good. Yeah, it was good to have conversations with him.
So
But
he's
he was
more mature than 70% of Americans. Got it.
I couldn't possibly comment. I was last in America 25 years ago, so
Yeah, well,
and that was Boston. So I don't know whether you consider that actual America or not.
mm, I mean, they got some decent chowder, but that's about it.
Chowder, yeah.
Chowder. Um,
They all talk funny as well. So.
well, we all do in America. That's the thing. We just don't realize it until we go someplace else. Now, I'll say I'm doing okay here. Phone situation, Android situation, basically exactly the same, except new teenager. Um, his phone's gone, and the wife agreed everybody needs a phone just in case of a emergency kind of thing. Um, so we took him into a T-Mobile store where they only have the most expensive stuff, and then they have the super unbelievably generic cheap stuff that is basically their name but a different brand where it's nothing but pure profit kind of thing. Um, but the phone he actually said he wanted was a Samsung Flip, like the
Oh,
Motorola Razor kind of flip. Um, but we were able to find one online. I want to say it was last year's model, the four, for 260 or $270,
that's
which
pretty good.
in US money I think is a very fair price, not incredibly cheap, but definitely cheaper than brand new kind of thing. Um,
Mhm.
so that should be arriving tomorrow. We'll see if he actually likes it or not. I because he said, the one thing he is used to with iPhone, and I had to explain to him what you're used to is governing. And what it is everything is slowed down so nothing appears too fast. And if nothing appears too fast, then nothing appears to slow down your phone. Everything just works at the same speed. Um, and that's what Samsung has done honestly pretty good for years and years and years, which is why you can keep getting updates on your phone. When it's brand new, it's literally only using like 80% of the processor. That's the governing line. And then when there's successive upgrades, it goes further and further up in processing power until it gets so much to where it hits 100% and stuff starts to appear to slow down. So it's a year old phone. I think he's going to at least enjoy it for maybe a year. And then I think he'll start to experience, you know, every now and then a bottleneck or a hang up, but we'll have to see.
Which phone is it, Dor?
Oh man, I want to say it's the Samsung. Is it called Z Flip 05 or 4? Z Flip 4, I want to say. Let me go here and say because of course the wife bought it from Amazon because I showed her one from Swappa that was like $40 cheaper, but apparently, just because I suggested it, it can't possibly be good.
Yeah. I wonder what that feeling's like.
It's like being married.
Oh wow. Okay. So
Huh.
it can't be this one. This one's the Z Flip 4 is 870. Oh, it's Canadian, so maybe that is $200.
Yeah. The version of it on the US market. Swift says I'm muted. Do you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
That's what I thought.
But he's in the chat as well. Apparently, he's in the video chat.
Yeah,
says.
he would be visible.
Yeah, I can't see him. Can't see you, Swift.
So that is the wrong link. Let me try this again. Control C. That's better. Amazon to boo boo. Okay, there is basically the exact same phone. Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 4 5G. This says US Verizon, but basically we have it unlocked. The only advantage to unlocked is less bloatware. The only disadvantage to unlocked is you won't be able to support some of the official carrier apps. Those apps let you access like visual voicemail and that kind of thing. So that's what he'll be missing out on. But considering he never answers his phone or his voicemail, I don't think he has to worry about that.
Yeah. How old is he?
Oh, well, technically he is 18 and technically he just got his first misdemeanor.
Oh,
Nice.
what's a misdemeanor?
It's not a felony, so that's good.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Great.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I know. Look, it could always be worse. Everything could always be worse. But he basically immediately, like, I don't want to say fessed up to it, but he's like, sure, yeah, I know what I did. I knew what I did beforehand was this, and I knew there's going to be consequences. So let's just see what it is. Okay.
Oh, well, that's pretty mature, I suppose.
Quite. Because I know when I was his age, I would keep denying everything for years.
I feel like
Still do.
I feel like it was easier to get away with stuff when we were that age too.
Can't say you're wrong. But he kind of did it in front of everybody else. There's multiple adults there, is what I'll say. But I digress. Except for that, I'll say the wife is really enjoying the new Google 4K streaming device connected to the TV. Before, at least once a week, I would hear her complain about why is it doing this, how's it doing that kind of thing, and I would have to like, go to her and say, "Can I see the controller?" Go to the app, hold down the button, click update or something, or once in a while just reboot the damn thing, and it would work. But now it's been 4 months, and she hasn't basically complained one time about it. And I also figured out using the Google TV app I'm able to seamlessly search on my phone, project it to the device, and have the controls right there on my phone, like a remote control. Um, which means I can mess with her when I'm down here, which is always fun.
Speaking of TVs, I got a new TV 2 weeks ago. I upgraded from a 32-inch cheap piece of crap to a 55-inch cheap piece of crap. So- but no one ever went to their grave wishing they had a smaller TV. So
True.
that's my philosophy at least. But yeah, it's good. I'm actually then I discovered that I mainly got it because I was frustrated with streaming through my Android TV dongle, so I switched to a new TV. But then discovered that it wasn't the TV that was really the problem; it was the file format of the programs I was trying to watch. So I watch
Hmm.
everything on my Plex server, which has everything saved in MP4 format, and MP4 formats do not stream very well,
Well,
as I've
that
been
was why
discovered.
I always ask somebody when they have streaming issues, have you ran everything through Handbrake? And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
really what I mean to say is, do you have everything under a unified format, always the same format, always the same structure kind of thing? Because my logic was once I figured out what worked, I converted everything to it kind of thing. I will
Yep,
say
yep.
on the super highest quality, I still have some issues. Um, but it's 4K. I mean, you'll have that. Everything lower, I'm having fewer issues with, is what I'll say.
Right. Yeah. I'm. I have. I have been very pleasantly surprised by streaming in 4K. Um,
Mm,
it's been fantastic. It's really good. But you've got to have a file with the right format. You've got to have an MKV or WebM format and the right sound uh, container as well. It also helps go from a AAC to an Opus. So that helps. But problem with the Starlink is that it won't allow streaming on a public IP, so on IP4. So I can't really share. I can't allow other people to view my Plex library very well. They can still stream, but it has to go through the indirect Plex server, and it's limited to 2 megabits,
right.
which is a real pain in the bum, to be honest.
Well, look on the bright side. You're in fact ahead of the curve because looks like
Yeah.
Plex is going to kill that for everybody unless you're a paid subscriber.
Oh, okay. Well, I am a paid subscriber, so that's yeah.
Right. But if
But I
I'm
just
not a
wish.
paid, I cannot stream your stuff to me. We would have to both
Oh,
be paid.
okay. Right, right, right. Yeah, because they've come out with a new Android app as well. They've upgraded their Android app. But it's makes me sort of think about and what am I paying for? What am I getting for it? Are there any cheaper, free, open source solutions? And I haven't really been able to find anything.
Well, what I'll say is especially if you take advantage of the over the air capabilities, you can put and you can literally in the Plex interface watch your local channels, capture your local channels, DVR them, schedule recordings, and it will automatically remove commercials and give you the option of removing intros and outros. So
Oh,
if
okay.
you do that, then I can see it being worth the investment, is the way I'll put it. Um,
Mm.
otherwise, you would have to like insist on having the ability. I want to have my device and I want to be able to click download the content to my device so I can watch it offline. That's the only other feature I know that is exclusively locked behind paid, except for the next upgrade they do is going to change that.
Yeah, except my problem is that local content is rubbish, and there's nothing I want to watch on it. So
So you're in Maryland, got it.
pretty close to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, weren't you guys on Voxer talking about other alternatives? Did anybody check those out?
No, I
Um,
haven't yet.
No.
if Starlink is blocking the IP kind of thing, the IP4 kind of thing, I'm not sure. I know what can get around that. Um,
A VPN can. You can get a VPN, but again, you have to pay for that,
well, I
and
know,
it
but
goes to
well,
the
but
DHCP.
Well, but the gimmick is going through a VPN is just like going through a extender on your Wi-Fi. No matter how good that is, you are going to lose speed. And more than
Exactly. Yeah.
likely, you're going to lose half, if not more, of the speed,
Yep.
unless you're paying like $80 a month for that VPN kind of thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what I just did today was
Oh,
I
wait. I have an idea. It involved a bathroom and hand lotion.
getting closer, getting closer. Um,
And
man,
lots of
is
tissues.
this what you think about when I'm not around? Uh, I have an Umbrel server set up, which is a personal server, and it has tons of apps, Nextcloud, Plex, and it's you one click installs for those, and I ended up putting it up on that that cheap um, x86 processor
Mm,
computer that I got
yeah.
because it was on a Raspberry Pi, but it was just kind of buggy and slow. And there's a something I put on there because I'm doing a little bit of work for a neighbor who has a nursery, and I told her that I would help her out for a fairly minimal amount of money if she paid me in Bitcoin, and so it's called BTC Pay Server,
Hmm.
and so you can create invoices or payment requests
Mm.
in Bitcoin, but it's on my local network, and
Mm.
I couldn't get. I have a URL subdomain that I wanted to point to it so that I could just say, okay, here's the invoice. Click the link, and then it opens up, and then you can pay it. And I couldn't figure out how to do that, and then I ended up using a Cloudflare tunnel,
Hmm.
and so the Umbrel had an app, and you can just install Cloudflare tunnel on your computer as well, but it had an app, and so I went through and set it up, and now it just goes through the Cloudflare tunnel instead of doing any Nginx reverse proxying or
Right.
anything like that. And so I wonder if that is something that you could do possibly is to create a tunnel like that through Cloudflare.
It possibly could be, but I would probably have to understand more than half of what you just said before I did that.
Me too. Yeah, I don't know. I
Uh,
mean, if you to share anyway, if I mean, does that make sense, Dor, or is that just
Oh,
nonsense?
it does. The only limiting factor would be how many people could be watching the stream at one time. If there's only
Yeah.
one person watching the stream, you could probably get fantastic results. If you get like three, it could be questionable. And then if you get like four or five, you better be paying a lot to get such, quality upload stuff.
This is the first time that I even knew. I think tunnels are fairly new, the
Hmm.
Cloudflare tunnels, and I don't like necessarily going through Cloudflare, but I was looking for an easy solution at this point because I've already put too much time into trying to sort it out, and then I found that. Yeah, that'll
Well,
do, donkey.
the good thing about going through Cloudflare is so much of the internet is going through Cloudflare. You just blend right in. Because I want to say the last Security Now or the one before that, Gibson went over one of the stats, and I want to say it was nearly like 40% of the entire internet goes through Cloudflare servers.
What could go wrong?
Well, I
hmm.
mean, that's why they have the best DDoS protection, at least that I've ever heard of.
Yeah,
But I digress.
I tried to set up an FTP server, but came up with the same problem.
Yeah, it will not.
Wouldn't
FTP is
work.
one of the most insecure things that ever existed. Any
Yeah.
self-respecting ISP should block such a thing.
Yeah. As I
So,
discovered.
so I mean, the best case scenario you could do is you could literally have like a Dropbox or a sync thing or something like that, to where you can
Mhm.
share folders with friends, but then they have to make sure they have terabytes sitting there
Yeah,
waiting
exactly.
to sync the files.
Seems a bit inefficient if they're just going to watch them once. They have to download the whole lot, have to upload it, they have to download it. It's like, ugh.
I
No time.
understand.
Who has time for that? Ain't
You
nobody got time for that.
you like might as well take the hard drive out of your computer and ship it to them.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
I actually got new internet service as well. I think
Ooh.
since the last time, and it's 2 gig down and
Damn.
2 up or something. Yeah, but it's nonsense. Like I bought a new router because I had an old Ubiquity router X,
Mhm.
but it was old, and so I wanted to get one that had at least a port that would have one 2 gigabit out port.
Mhm.
But I can't get that. And I'm trying to be able to get the Wi-Fi up, and I had it, and I was getting like 900 megs on the Wi-Fi, and then whatever happened, and now it's down. I can't even barely get 300, and it's just it's I don't networking is so annoying, especially when you're not doing it all the time, and you just like all the little foibles that you come across.
I'm gonna guess that's Wi-Fi 7.
Well, it's Wi-Fi 6,
Okay.
but it should be able to get at least a gig.
Okay. Because I want to say when I was researching routers, because my home network is fine. My personal network down here, I want to upgrade it. So many routers made in the last 2 years. People say I get the router, and the first day I get it, the speeds are what it says, and then a day or two later, I only get like 1/3 or 1/5 of that speed, no matter what I do, until I hard reset the router. Then I get the maximum speed again, only for like a day or two, and then it drops back down again. And I am a little bit afraid then to buy some of the newer stuff.
Yeah, this was a TP link, blah blah
Oh,
blah.
China.
That yeah, that
That's it. That's it. China's in your network. That's what's doing it.
It's
yeah,
China.
but it's
Yep.
cheap.
Sorry, had to. Can't help it. I love TP Link. I have my TP Link right there router. I have my TP Link cam thingies.
Yeah, I've got it. Yep.
Work good.
Yeah, I've got a whole mesh system on TP Link and a security cam sticking out the front window. Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure the TP stands for toilet paper.
Yeah.
Clean, easy.
It's the app is shite, I have to say. The app is really bad. Ugh.
Well, I've got two Tenda, they're called, mesh routers.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had them running, but then they were doing DHCP,
Mm-hmm.
which I knew, but I was hoping it would still work, but I was dropping out.
Right.
And so then, and then I put them to just pass through,
Mm-hmm.
which I also did for the router that came, the modem router from Rogers now, and so I put that to pass through, so everything's going through the TP link, and again, the speed I just don't understand. Like maybe you're right, maybe I just need to do a hard factory reset every 2 days.
I mean,
You can't do that every 2 days.
I can't. Unless you back up the config and you restore it without with zero effort. That's what it had the zero effort to where you don't got to do nothing. And at 2 p.m. or 2 a.m. every whatever nights it blanks and restores. I never in my life bought a combination DVD player VCR television. You know what I mean? I never in my life want to buy that kind of combination thing. I never even want to use a modem router because if it's a modem router, it doesn't do either one good. So every time I get a modem from my vendor, I literally turn off all the Wi-Fi and I push it out via the fastest cable I can get to something else to do routing. And if I can't get a modem from my ISP with at least one good port, I mean, that's the day when I'll burn their building down. because I will not go with Comcast under any circumstance. I mean, such horrible customer service rep. It is unbelievably bad.
Comcast are the lines company you have there. They're
Well,
doing the infrastructure or what?
right here, we only have two choices where I'm at. One is Comcast or Infinity, and the other one is Verizon Fios. Um, Technically, we can get wireless solutions. A couple cell phone companies offer wireless solutions that supposedly give you great speeds. Me not being stupid, I know the lag um, will be bad. The ping time will be horrendous. Um,
Mm.
the download speeds might be acceptable in air quotes, but they will take forever to get up to speed. They will start out slow, and my upload speed will always be horrendous. So I won't go with any of
Right.
them.
Well,
Well, I have to say, a lot of my neighbors have been very curious about my Starlink connection. They been asking about pricing and what's involved, and and there's a couple of other people in the neighborhood have got it as well, mainly because the current wireless broadband solution that we use around here is starting to drop out,
Mm.
starting to degrade. So yeah, they're very curious about Starlink at the moment. Sorry, Josh.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I realized too late, which I didn't even know was a thing, that that I have to use the Rogers modem, and I can't buy a separate modem and be able to use it with the service, and it just makes me want to pull what little hair left I have out.
I've heard so many horror stories about Rogers. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we had Shaw before, and I think I said that before. Like and then
Yeah.
they just merged with Rogers.
Yeah. I will say, Ivor, the one thing I did learn about Starlink is how it works in air quotes. It isn't
Mm,
just your dish communicating with the low satellites. There has to be relatively close to you, in air quotes, a base station. So what happens is, quite literally, it goes from your satellite, from your dish to that satellite, bounces down to that ground station, and where that ground station has a super high speed trunk connection to the internet. So
yeah, backhaul. Yeah.
right. So basically, like in the Ukraine, they couldn't just give everyone there a satellite and say, "Well, it's going to work." No, you have to
Mm,
have the base stations close enough in order for it to work, or else you experience insane lag, which is like the old style satellite internet.
right, right.
So that was one way how Starlink was able to fix it. So when you do have your, signal going up, you're really not going as far up as ever before, and you're not going as far away because it's literally just coming right back down locally, which could be, I want to say it's upwards of like 300 miles.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Well, and like that's why they could literally have an outage anywhere else in the world and you'll never know about it. As
Mm,
long as your dish is working, that satellite is working, and that ground station is up, you're fine.
yeah, yeah. Um, that's still 6 times faster than what I was getting before, so I'm happy. And cheaper. Hey.
See, that's just crazy. We don't have
Yeah.
nothing like that in America.
Oh, well.
I know.
Anyway,
Um,
should we get on to some apps?
well, I'll say
Sorry,
first, do you guys have any news related things that you found interesting or wanted to talk
Rogers
about?
sucks.
Well,
Rogers sucks.
okay. Android related news things or mini stuff.
I did, but I haven't got them to hand at the moment. Sorry, I should be more prepared.
You should be.
I was eating my lunch instead.
All good, all good. One phone I wanted to make sure I brought at least one time, just so I could make sure everyone says at the same time, "What the hell?" Um, is there is a smartphone out that insists it does not need to charge for 6 months at a time. It's a 33,000 milliamp phone. And if you look at the thing, you could literally use it as a zombie killing device, and you could probably go through a couple hundred zombies before this thing breaks if you see how big this device is. It is absolutely ridiculous. But I mean, if you really insist on having a phone that you don't have to worry about charging, I guess, you could get this one. It's made
So
by
how was 60,000? What did you say? 60,000
30
milliamps.
33,000 milliamp battery that can run for 6 months without charge.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a long
My
time.
car doesn't even run for 6 months.
Yeah. And it's made by Alcatel, I want to say is how you pronounce it. Technically,
Alcatel,
yeah,
French outfit. Yeah.
technically it was just at CES. I honestly believe they would make this an actual production device because I could literally see emergency personnel, emergency services, and certain government type institutions wherever in the world would love the idea of I can give you this phone for like 2 or 3 months and I had nothing to worry about. Now you have no reason to not answer your phone, kind of thing.
Huh. Well, yeah. Is it the size of a brick?
Oh, well,
It is.
the link is in the chat, and yes,
Okay.
it's the size of a brick that you honestly never want to come in
Oh,
contact
yeah.
with because it will hurt.
I'm just looking at. Yeah. That's an offensive weapon in my country.
Yeah, yeah. The other
Oh,
thing,
Ukitel. Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Here, Dor. I stole one from your list
okay.
that I find quite interesting. Is the Lily Goes T-Deck Pro
Oh yeah.
is a LoRa and 4G compatible smartphone like all-in-one e-paper dev system,
Mm-hmm.
which hits all the keywords really. I've looked at Lily Go quite a bit. They have a lot of Mesh-tastic type of hardware, and the T-Deck is actually one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so this is, I don't know, I haven't read it. I just like the headline, so I don't know if you have anything else to say about it.
I did read some of it, and I did love the pictures. But you said the magic word, Mesh-tastic. Now, for the uninitiated, Mesh-tastic is a newer kind of thing. Okay. The way I'm going to describe it is Mesh-tastic is super low powered, super long range connections. You're not going to get like 4K video quality throughput out of that connection, but you will get more than enough of a connection for voice. Um, there are people now taking the one I heard about was buoys, solar powered buoys with flashing lights kind of thing out of the water that are no good anymore. And they're repurposing them using the solar panels to power a mesh-tastic device, and they're putting them up in trees in Florida. So what it means is if you have a mesh-tastic capable device, you might be able to travel for literally 100 miles in one way and not have to use mobile, not have to use Wi-Fi, not have to use LoRa, but you're going to use mesh-tastic to make your calls or text messages or whatever. It is the ultimate disaster scenario solution for like networking, digital networking. It has really came so far in the last like 6 months. I do believe Mesh-tastic is one of those things. The first phones that offer it, the branded phones that offer Mesh-tastic, I mean, people are going to go crazy putting up Mesh-tastic nodes because also it's such a thing. Even if I own a node, I cannot even see any of the traffic going through it. It just looks like a blob mess. So that's the only thing that this phone is missing. I love the idea of a super low powered e-ink displayed communication device because like, this thing could also last for months on a single charge because it's e-ink. So I love the hacker community doing this kind of stuff, just really pushing tech as far as they can, utilizing as much, things as they possibly can, in a affordable price kind of thing. Yeah.
Just as a point of clarity, the Meshtastic network does use LoRa as the
Really? I
protocol.
thought I thought it was something different.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the backbone
Okay.
is LoRa.
Well, then that makes it more capable than I thought.
Could be
Yeah,
Karen.
you said it goes. I mean, it'll go a long way, but it's also long line of sight.
Right.
So that's why you have people putting things up in the highest spots they can in their local areas, and
Right.
then there are a bunch of tinkerers that are. It's kind of like ham, where they try to see how far they can send their signal.
Right. With like, Pringles cans or like coffee cans.
Yeah, but that is also all of this is probably considered an offensive weapon in New Zealand.
Everything is, yeah. We're not allowed anything.
Okay, well, that was one piece of hardware. There was another piece of hardware. If you give me a couple seconds, I think I can find, which was a
I
add-on.
put in the chat door. Sorry, I just put in the chat it's called Rack, and it's a store that has a bunch of Meshtastic devices, and it's quite fun to look at. Sorry about that.
All good, all good. The other piece of hardware I just wanted to bring to people's attention. The problem is you have to own a Motorola Razor, and I had to say that slow because my enunciation has not been great. But basically, it is a hardware device that clips onto your like Star Trek communicator style flip phone where it flips forward, and on the very bottom it basically has a physical keyboard. There's no doubt I can see people with that device loving the idea of a physical keyboard with this when it's closed with that smaller screen. I can see that being desirable is the way I'll put it.
Mhm. That's a great idea.
Hmm. I believe right now it's on like a Kickstarter type thing still. I think they're looking for traction is the way I'll put it. But I know if I had a Motorola Razor, I might entertain the idea of that device.
Mm, cool. I found an interesting article in the Yorkshire Evening Post the other day, and it's specific to people who live in the Leeds in UK. Um, but it says, but I'm sure it applies to almost everywhere else as well. It's people in Leeds don't use 60% of their mobile apps.
Hmm.
Or their brains.
I definitely believe both.
um, so it says more than half the apps on the average Leeds smartphone have never been used since the day they were downloaded. I would also add that more than half the apps onto someone's iPhone have probably never been downloaded. They were there automatically and have never been needed. Anyway, most adults have living in Leeds have 43 apps on their phone, but have not used 22 of them since they were first installed,
Wow.
and they've only used 26 in the last month. Over half of all the smartphone apps do little more than take up valuable storage space, and that exactly 3/5 are not in regular use. So, what do you reckon, guys? Do you think this is right? Do you think this applies to everyone, or just people in Leeds?
It applies to me as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I have a policy. I go through if I don't use an app, in 3 or 4 months, I get rid of it.
I don't even know what half the apps on my phone are. Likely they were probably recommended.
You don't even know where your phone is.
I don't even know. Who are you? Who are you in here?
Yeah, and like I admit, every now and then I go through my app drawer, and I'm like, I'm going to use this app right now because I need to use this app because I haven't used this app. Let me use this app. Yeah. In some instances, it's almost hard to use an app because most apps are either useless games or they have such a niche kind of use case. You almost have to like force yourself to use it. The example I'll use is if you have a habit tracker app on your phone, while it's intended to help you track your habits, you have to have the habit of opening the app or it's
Mhm.
useless. So, if you don't open an app every X amount or it doesn't constantly or whatever bug you in the notifications thing, I mean, how are you going to remember to open it? Now, the only like different kind of app I'll say is like Google Sky Map. That's one app that has been installed on my phone for like 8 years, I want to say straight. And the reason is every now and then we'll be driving and the wife will say, "Huh, I think that's that isn't a plane. What is that?" And I say it's either Mars, Venus, or Jupiter because they're always the three brightest things in the
Yeah,
sky.
it's usually it.
And
Yeah.
she tried to tell me it's something. Okay, whatever. And then I pull up Google Sky Map. Huh? Okay, there you go. It's Jupiter. Because that app, you simply just load the app, point your phone towards the sky where it's happening, and it will tell you if it's a constellation, a star, a moon, a planet. And if it's a plane, nothing will show up, and then you'll notice a red light blink. So it's not a, or it's a UFO, or what's the other new term? Aerial phenomenon thing.
Unexplained aerial phenomenon.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. In air quotes, something fuzzy.
There's another one. Was it the Star Tracker, which I need to put on my phone,
Ye-
which is like that as well, and is really a good. It's a fun app
Yeah,
where you can put it down towards the ground, and it'll show you what's happening on the other side of the Earth as well.
right. Yeah. The only other one I constantly have installed is the ISS tracker. And it's because,
Oh, that's a great app.
well, it's because I meet some people that don't believe for the last 25 years, there's been somebody up there every single day doing science stuff. What?
Passing by every 90 minutes. Yeah.
And they almost don't believe it, and they don't believe that it's there, and then they never believe it's visible. And then I show them the app, and then we sit there for sometimes it doesn't happen, but sometimes it's like, oh, it's coming in 8 minutes. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay.
Here it comes.
Now look right there, and you're going to see a square show up. And then a minute two, and I go 3, 2, and typically like 2 or 3 seconds around there. Oh, there's a square, and it's going across the sky really fast. That's the International Space Station. Yeah, love it.
I use Stellarium as well for that. Very
That's
good.
another great one. Yeah. Yeah. So I love that kind of app, but I will say, yeah, there's apps on my phone. Definitely. I'm like, we used to have such good times.
Keep them there for nostalgia's sake.
Memories, like
Uninstall.
the apps I have on my phone, I don't even remember putting them on there or what they are, and they're not bloatware or anything like that. These are apps that I consciously put on my phone, and I don't even know what they're for.
Well, I mean, as I said, when I first got my Xiaomi phone, I removed 142 different programs that were not necessary. Yeah.
Jim in the chat says Skyview. So that must be another.
All right. Okay. I'm just going to throw out one last thing before we go to apps, and it's kind of app related. There's an article over on Hackaday, and I have very mixed feelings about Hackaday. I believe, most of their titles are unbelievably clickbaity. But it's one of those things, if you learn how to read stuff, then you realize what's clickbait and what actually has information on it. 99% of the time, when it's something good, it's a brief description with a link out to the real thing. I'll say that. But this one was literally called self-hosting a cluster on old phones. Okay. I used to believe the best server you could have in your house for home use and that kind of use, like local use, would be a laptop. And it was because a laptop had a built-in battery. So it had a built-in battery backup. And it also had a built-in screen. So it, could be over on the side, and every now and then you just popped it open to use it. Then with modern technology, it could also be headless to where you just keep it closed all the time, powered up, and then you just access it via a web browser or another communication method. So now via Postmarket OS is one of those Android operating systems that have been in production. Development is one of it is what I'm going to use for at least 4 years. I'm going to say. I try to listen to the Postmarket podcast, and their accents are so thick in like Dutch. No, I can't. But they're obviously really smart people, is what I'm gonna say. Now, this article over at Hackaday is basically showing you how you can use your old phone, install this custom operating system, and it really does install on a lot of phones. And then via a very simple interface, you can add clustered operating systems on it, and they'll have their own IP and port. Um, so really, this could be like your server farm in your pocket, as long as you don't have extreme needs, um, or like you don't need like a petabyte of storage. Um, Granted, it takes a thick like chin to get through it, but if you do, I do believe the rewards are really good.
So what are you putting on here?
Um, well, you can put Postmarket O as the OS. Then after that, you can do file sharing, streaming type things, communication platforms, syncing kind of things. Like I know one guy had a syncing application on his phone where every time he went to work, it would connect to the network and it would sync a folder down to his phone. Then when he got home, it would again automatically sync to a server in his house. So it was like a portable syncing like device. Me personally, I would probably use it for oh man, I want to say it's called ROM, RETROM. What it is, it's a Retroid, um, retro emulating game console that you can host one place but play anywhere, basically via a IP address. Of course, the older the system, the better the experience. Um, I would probably use it for that because I'm a nerd.
Could you? Yeah.
Well, basically, if you can install it on a server or Docker kind of thing, actually, then you can install it on here.
Yeah.
The problem, I don't want to say the problem, that's really mean of me. The issue will be Docker is processor specific. So if it's not designed for ARM processor, you might have some issues trying to launch it. There are tricks to go around it, but typically that involves emulation, which means you're only going to get like 1/10 of the speed or performance out of it that you expect. But I digress.
Yeah. It's cool anyway. Nerdy. Cool.
I kind of like it.
I like money.
hmm So, does anyone want to throw a app out there, or am I gonna do it?
Oh, 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 oh.
Guess you're gonna have to do it, Door.
The guy from the Southern Hemisphere. Yes, you in the plaid shirt.
Okay. So they say a picture paints 1,000 words, but in my book, a picture paints 17 syllables. And if you don't know what I'm talking about haikus, baby.
Mm.
So this is one I sent around. I was actually quite impressed. I found this on a Reddit Android app subreddit. And so what this app does, is basically you take a picture of something, and it automatically generates a haiku about whatever you're taking a picture of. And it is completely useless and completely frivolous, and I think it's just wonderful. So install it, take some photos, and create a haiku. Send it to your mates.
You have to give us at least one example of a picture you have taken and the result that came back, because I don't know. I almost want to install this now.
Okay, so I'm doing it now. I've got a picture of my cat, which I've just got here. And so the option is you press the button to get the haiku. So it'll come up. So it's a picture of my cat sitting on a cushion in underneath in some kind of a shelf. So it says, soft wood envelops purring cat on cozy blue, peaceful, tranquil rest. So if you don't like that, which I think it's pretty substandard haiku, let's go for a different one. Let's rewrite the haiku so you can do that. And it goes, soft wood, plush cushion, cozy warmth, peaceful slumber, feline solitude. And you can keep going through these things. So yeah, if you're in the mood for a haiku, this is the app to do it with. So you can select pictures from your album, or you can just take a picture with your camera, and
Hmm.
it
Have
will
you taken any
automatically.
pictures of people? Have you taken a selfie?
Eric, I sent it to my brother Eric, and he ran it. He ran a picture of
Hmm.
me through it, and
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, we had lots of fun.
Have the
Yeah,
word
hilarity ensued.
Did it have the word wanker?
No, I didn't have the word wanker. This is a family show, Josh. Family show. But yeah, if you like completely frivolous, useless applications like that, this is great to have.
Awesome.
I hear you there.
I'm gonna bring one if we're done with the haikus.
Sure.
um, this is one that I haven't had a chance to use yet. It is on my phone, however, along with all the other ones that I have not used yet. And it's called DMinder,
Hmm.
and it has 2.9 reviews, or average reviews out of 1.46 thousand, 100,000 K downloads, and it is. Oh, I had it on here. It's a sun tracking app, and it is shows you when is a good time to basically absorb vitamin D from
Hmm.
the sun in your area. And so I guess it would fit under health, and I think that is one of the plagues on society today is people not getting enough sun. And if we all had more sun and a bit more grounding, then I think we'd all be much happier and healthier. And so this might be one way to do that with avoiding getting sunburned. But I honestly believe that sunscreen is a racket, and your body needs sun, and a lot of people do everything they can to stay out of it. And maybe this will help people get out and get some vitamin D.
Well, I mean, everything in moderation, but I learned tonight Josh needs more D. Got it. But if you take a look at the last screenshot, Josh, I think it's hysterical. Um, their notification shade is like completely bombarded with what it looks like old school app installation messages, and I can't
Oh
remember
yeah, yeah,
because I've seen that. That's why I know what that looks like.
yeah.
It's almost funny that you bring this up now, Josh. My doctor asked me in February to stop taking vitamin D because it looks like I was getting vitamin D toxicity, which was causing I can't, it was a 3-word phrase, basically too much calcium in my body that can cause brittle bones and a couple other things. So it's like the normal level was 131. I was 136, and I went and took a blood test 3 days ago, and I was down to 132. So I'm heading in the right direction. So I was taking too much D. Who knew?
But the difference is though that D isn't you can't get vitamin D from a vitamin. Like you
Yeah,
can try. It's not
you can.
it's not the same thing, man. It's a hormone that is from the sun. It's like getting vitamin C in a capsule. You can't just get It's
Okay.
just not the same thing as
Do,
eating an orange.
do you know what the word vitamin means?
Please enlighten me.
It is a natural it is a natural a amino acid that your body doesn't create. There's hundreds of them that we do create. The word vitamin just means that we do not create them on our own. Vitamin D can be taken in via beef. Beef is very high in vitamin D. The sun can help create vitamin D, or you can take vitamin D3 supplements. All of them increase vitamin D in your bloodstream. And since vitamin D is fat soluble, not water soluble, it is actually very easy to have too much in your body. Where like vitamin B12, you can just pee it right out. But when it's a fat soluble vitamin, it can build up in your body, particularly your liver. And a blood test isn't going to tell me I have high vitamin D if it's not vitamin D.
No, they would never lie to you about anything.
How
that's on
would
the
how would they
tin.
know I'm taking that supplement?
And a pharmaceutical company that sells you pharmaceuticals and
No,
also
these are
I,
not pharmaceutical companies. Vitamin D is a unregulated, not medicine.
I understand
So
that.
it's not pharmaceutical. It's actually closer to like buying pillow covers or like a lawnmower. Has nothing to do with medical at all.
Yeah, that's
It
absolutely correct.
it's like buying tea. So I don't know how
Yeah,
my doctor would have known I'm taking supplements.
I understand you can buy it over the counter. I'm just trying to make the point that I'm pretty sure that buying a jar of vitamin D capsules is not going to be the same as going out and getting sun.
Well, I won't get cancer, right? Yeah. Because with the sun, you also get ultraviolet, which can be bad. Like my dad has had now 45 trips to the doctor to get cancer removed off his skin because he can't stop going outside and fishing.
Kill Bob Marley.
Yeah. And I will say you're in the higher latitude where you really do need to know when to go outside to get your vitamin D because there's certain times of the year like you can't.
Yeah, like now it rains every day.
Uh,
liquid vitamin D.
yeah. Yeah, and like even at my latitude, I want to say there's almost like a month or a month and a half out of the year. Even if I go outside butt naked laying on my roof, I'm not going to get enough vitamin D that I need, which is why humans, the most healthiest in the beginning, started around the equator type area because they got a lot of D.
Yeah, I think they're still the. I mean, you look at people that are tan, and they people just look healthier when they're tan.
I
Well,
think the
that
official term is swarthy.
well, like that, and there is a lot of studies showing there's a lot less of certain types of diseases for people who are in the areas that have the availability of getting that sunlight vitamin D. So, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind more vitamin D is better for your overall health than the average person, especially today where kids don't even go outside. Yeah, they definitely need some vitamin D. Yeah.
So get
I mean,
outside.
like when I was a kid, I would drink like a gallon of milk every 2 or 3 days. And my parents always bought vitamin D milk. And I swear, from the time I remember till like 17 years old, I think I got sick like twice.
Hmm.
And I swear now that I'm older, it was because of all the damn vitamin D I was drinking. I don't know. Of course, it's a study of one, which means, could be a lot of stuff. Okay. So he went, okay. Now here's my app. You ready? I don't know if you guys have seen, oh God. Oh, they're called infographics. Now, just saying infographic doesn't mean it's right or it's wrong. What I will say is some of them are entertaining as hell. Infographic, basically think of it as a poster you could hang that just tries to summarize and visualize data in any shape, way, or form, just to try to get the point across of what they're trying to do. This is called Varoni, Varoni, whatever, by Visual Capitalist. And just calling themselves Visual Capitalist, I think kind of gets the point across. But it is 4.0, 100,000 downloads plus E for everyone, updated April 15th, 2025. Version 1.0.46, 7.0 Android or up. We're up to 16. Okay. If you don't have Android 7 or up, you're on some incredibly old stuff. 100,000 downloads again, content rating E for everyone. Permissions, I want to say it only needs like photos and network access and storage. So really not a lot. but basically every day in air quote, it presents you with some different infographics that they're making. Some of them I just click at and laugh and skip. And then some of them like, huh, that's kind of interesting, which makes me go do what I call lateral searching. So I look at the thing and then I try to, in an unbiased way, search and see if I come up with the same type of information. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but um, but either way, every now and then, at least every couple days, I do find something incredibly interesting. Um, and the only person as nerdy as me, to be honest, is my wife. So every now and then I'll send her one of these. And of course, her response is, I told you about this 2 weeks ago because, but I digress. To me, it's actually one of those fun apps because it makes me think and it makes me do my own research, dare I say.
So what kind of information? Because I'm looking at the pictures and it only shows the world economy and a lot of lorem ipsum.
Right. Well, my wife works at a auto dealership. So one of the ones I found very interesting was car manufacturers, all of like a lot of them listed, and it was how much they cost in maintenance in the first 5 years and how much they cost in the second 5 years on average. So you would see like which ones would cost, the most money in 10 years or 5 years, and which ones would cost the least. And like we have a brand new Mazda. Mazda was actually like six from the cheapest. We had like, 30 in the list. And like her dad has a Dodge truck. That Dodge truck was up high. Dodge was up high for you're paying a lot of money. The first five wasn't horrible, but the next five was so much it was ridiculous. So that's the kind of infograph that I, shared with her last week.
Can she get my Subaru fixed?
No, Subarus are incredible. Subarus are one of the worst for maintenance and repair cost.
Most commonly stolen car in New Zealand as well.
I believe it.
Oh yeah. I mean, apparently they're notorious for blowing head gaskets. Great. I asked the guy too. I said, "Well, after it's replaced, is it good to go?" He's like, "No."
Maybe.
Okay. Awesome.
Almost better off buying a new car, aren't you, mate?
Yeah. Well, at this point, I don't know. I mean, he quoted $3,600 to do it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, like the example I'll use is most of the time when you went down the list to the more expensive things, it was the more expensive vehicles, of course. So, like BMW maintenance ain't cheap or Audi maintenance. One of the ones that was insane was, Jaguar. Oh man, Jaguar was nuts how much it cost. So yeah, it was just to me just interesting. I'm not sure it was factually 100% correct, but it was at least interesting and kind of made sense. The other kind of things that I showed her, which she was kind of blown away about, was the number of people every year that die from cold related. I can't remember what the right word is. The amount of people every year that die from cold related things, and people who died every year from heat related things. Most people have their assumptions, is the way I'll put it. You're not right. Nobody's right, is what I want to say. It is insanely what you're not thinking. And I showed it to her, and of course she didn't believe me. She didn't believe it. So I literally linked to 2 or 3 different things, and they all basically agreed the same thing. 10 times more people die from cold related things than heat related things. And it's because cold, all you got to do is be exposed to it for a certain amount of time. Doesn't matter. You're dead. You ain't making it. Heat, you can cool off. You can just take off clothes kind of thing. It's different. So
there's a cool website. I think it's called Correlation is Not Causation. Which shows you.
The most famous one was ice cream sales and was it like homicides? I believe
homicides. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it shows you how closely these things are correlated, but they obviously have nothing to do with each other. It's quite a good example. Um, so the thing that struck me about this ad when I looked at it was that the one of the similar apps that shows that the first of the list is B-Soul Legacy Planner.
Hmm.
What are you getting on your page? Apparently, this B-Soul Legacy Planner is a way of capturing, build and manage your digital legacy, capturing and preserving the most meaningful moments of your life in a secure and intentional way. What does this mean? It means nothing to me.
Where is it? What are you looking at?
Yeah. Where are you seeing
I'll
it?
just put the link in here. This is so if you go to the right of the it's underneath app support, it's got similar apps.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's got B Soul Legacy Planner. I will just put the link into
Oh
it.
yeah,
as
no,
well.
I can see that one. No, yeah.
Mm.
Why is this showing up on my feed? Why am I getting this ad? I mean,
Trying to
I'm
tell you
not that
something.
old. Trying to tell me something. Okay. Anyway, that was just an aside. But
Did
yeah,
it
this
put
looks good.
into a haiku?
Oh, I've sent you some pictures
Yeah.
on the Voxer chat.
Sounds
So
right.
if you want to put them up.
You are serene.
Man, well, I'll say it like this. I love the fact that when we go over my sister-in-law's house and her husband is watching NASCAR, it's almost funny how one of the ads that won't stop popping up, it's a reoccurring subscription service for Viagra or Viagra-like product,
Oh, really?
which I just think is hilarious. It's like, I guess they know their customer.
Well, I mean, when you're 2 cases down of Miller Lite,
Bud Light.
I guess.
Hmm. Yes. So,
Anyway,
which one of you guys want to throw up an app? I'm sorry, I don't want you to puke.
well, I've got an app that's slightly confusing to me. I've been using for a while now. It's called Alt Location Services. Now this is on F-Droid. So the app description says this app connects to Beacon DB public domain wireless geolocation database to provide network-based location services. Unlike standard GPS, this works underground and inside buildings. Unlike Google's location services, neither this app nor Beacon DB will sell your location data. And then it has a little rider on there saying, if you are using this app, please install NeoStumbler to contribute to the Beacon DB dataset so you can get a more accurate location from this app. So what I'm unsure about is whether this app actually replaces Google location services. Do I have to go and switch off Google location services? And would all the services that would previously use Google location services now use the alt location services? But anyway, I've installed it. It seems to be working. It's fine. I don't know if it's tracking my location everywhere like Google does, but I was just a bit intrigued by this one, shall we say, about what it actually does and whether it's possible to actually say goodbye to Google location services, which is really hard to get rid of if you want to use your phone.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I will say I would love if it could, but I would be terrified that most people using Google Play location services would have something hard coded to use Google Play location
Yeah.
services.
Yeah.
The only way to really, I mean, honestly, I could try to install this and find out. So I'm going to guess it doesn't need root.
No, it doesn't need root.
Okay, well then I can at least try to install it and I can try to disable Google location services. It wouldn't shock me if in the official Google apps I might have issues.
Yeah, yeah.
But it also wouldn't shock me in other apps it actually might work. I will say going to the Beacon website, it very clearly says ethically sourced, it's only opt-in, privacy friendly, published information is obfuscated to protect transmitters and contributors, abuse resistant, updating existing data requires information only to be available in physical range of Beacon. So almost what it sounds like is, people set up these Beacon IO hubs or nodes, and then only when you're come by it does it get updated. And obfuscates it and hides your information. So
Mm.
it's one of those things. I love the idea of it.
Yeah, that's what I was keen on as well. But I'm not. I haven't been brave enough to switch off Google location services yet. But I'll give it a go. See what happens.
Well, and I can tell you, if I turn mine off, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to tell in like a day if it's working or not. Only reason is I get a lot of other location related things on my devices, the way I'll put it.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not at all sure whether this is a replacement for what you were previously using, i.e., Google. But yeah, I just thought I'd chuck it out there and see if anybody wanted to have a go at it.
It is one of those things. I'm not going to lie. I have really high hopes for,
Yeah.
but we'll have to wait and see. Super quick side tangent. One of the things I found that now I can't stop doing, if you go to F-Droid and you click on news, and if you go to any of the links, because basically they happen about every week. So right now, the newest one is called Bike Shredding is Over. Okay. It doesn't matter. Just click it and go down, ignore whatever. It doesn't matter. Go down, keep ignoring, just go down. Just keep ignoring, just go down. Just keep it going. Okay, now now it has a listing says removed apps, and it tells you one app was removed. It tells you the name of the app. And it tells you why, because the back end is not working now. Then newly added apps. There's 5 newly added apps. So if you are looking for new apps, literally just once a week, drop into F-Droid, click news and scroll down. And then it has updated apps, and the updated apps are always hidden because there's too many of them. So there's 170 updated apps. If you click the little plus next to it, it literally goes and shows you every single app that was updated in F-Droid in the last week. I am now addicted to coming to this link every week and just scrolling down and just looking at the names of apps, seeing if they pique my interest. And I've found more than a couple, I'm not going to lie, that I think are just, that's different. That's cool. Cool. Some of it, it's obvious it's in process, it's still being baked, if you will. But yeah, there's more than a couple apps that I find every week that are at least worth me keeping installed, seeing if they update in the next couple weeks and seeing what kind of features come to it.
I'm not getting it. I go back. I go down through some articles. Bike shedding is over. Forging paths. Blah blah
Well,
blah.
no.
Group improvements.
Click on bike shedding is over.
Okay.
And then it says this week in F-Droid.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Then scroll down, ignore all that crap. Keep scrolling, ignore all that crap. Then you'll see a section called
updated
removed
apps.
apps.
Yep. 170 more apps were updated.
Well, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, first it's always removed, then it's new, then it's updated.
It's got an RSS feed option.
Yep. For those old timers like me.
Or as Josh would call it, the RRS feed.
Well, that's what pirates call it.
RR.
Yeah, so that was one of those things that I stumbled upon and forgot to mention for the last at least 2 or 3 shows.
Cool. What is the obsession with note-taking apps? It's like weather apps and note-taking apps. I don't understand it.
Dare I say, at least note-taking apps are probably easy to code. It's text, it's saving text, it's showing you folder structures and names. To do anything over and above that, it will make you unique, I guess, amongst other note apps. I don't know.
Yeah. Seems weird.
Well, that and I'll say markdown editor kind of apps are also quite abundant. But yeah, weather and note taking is crazy.
Well, everyone seems to want to put AI assistance in everything at the moment. Well, particularly note taking apps. Yeah. I don't know why. Anyway, but I've been. I mentioned a while ago. I've been trying to design my own keyboard app. I plugged in the old Grok AI assistant and got it to help me create half an app. I spent an afternoon on it, whole afternoon on it, and I got to the point where I could actually get it to work,
Hmm.
but it's still not finished. So I kind of lost steam on that one. Apparently, Josh can't hear us, which is probably a good thing.
Hmm. Ooh.
But it made me realize what's the how much is involved in actually creating a simple app like a keyboard app. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, for every app, there's like the easy stuff that you can do in seconds, and then there's tons of back end stuff that requires nonstop kind of effort.
Yeah, but every time you sort of change, you add a feature or add something, something else goes wrong somewhere else, and you have to go debug it and change it and then redo the code and reload it, and yeah, it just seems very inefficient.
Yeah, complexity ramps up quickly.
Yeah, even for just simple apps, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But you know, I was quite glad I had Grok AI to help me there because I wouldn't have got past installing the Android Studio app uh, program first.
Yeah. See, so what you're almost hinting at is what the bros are calling today like vibe coding. Um,
Oh yeah,
Vibe coding is essentially you get AI to do all the heavy lifting. You copy the code into your editor, and then you just tweak if you feel necessary. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Just
Well, I have no idea what I'm doing, so
well,
I just copy and paste the code that the Grok gives me, and it seems to work sometimes.
well,
Yeah,
some of the vibe coders with full time jobs also don't know what they're doing. They just copy
that's
paste.
all they do. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then they wait for like a end user or tester to complain about something, and then of course they
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
ask the AI how to fix it.
Yeah. Then it breaks something else when they do.
Of course, of course.
Anyway, it was a lot of fun. Actually, I quite enjoyed it, even though I had no idea what I was doing.
Okay, I messed up one thing. Let me copy this. Go up here. There you go.
Can you
Better,
guys hear
better.
me?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Ah,
sir.
here he is. He's back.
Surprise.
Very cool. Okay. I'm gonna throw a what I think of. Oh man, I gotta click one thing real quick because this really caught me off guard. I, like some other people, are into beavers. I'm just gonna say. Um, okay. I mean, look, and this is called Beaver Habit Tracker. And unfortunately, every time I showed this to people, they thought it was something else. Um, it's a
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what they were expecting, but it's essentially a habit tracker. Nothing more. It's just called Beaver because it's called Beaver. Again, I keep looking for that golden like rod of the perfect beaver tracker, if you will, um, to where I don't have to like force myself to do things. I don't have to force myself to have on. The biggest difference between this one and other ones is this gets the nerd cred because the server that it connects to, you can self-host on your own network. So you don't have to like worry about cracking your phone, and losing all of your data for your habit tracker, but you can literally have it installed on your local server, back it up, and connect to that for all your tracking details and tracking history. Um, so that alone at least made me look at it. I did have some issues installing the server on my Pi type ARM computer. It's a Rock Pi. Um, so I didn't. Well, I wasn't successful there when I installed it on a x86 normal computer in a VM. It seemed to work fine, but I really don't want to install VMs on my x86s right now. So I installed it. It worked. It was easy to back up. Everything seemed to work. The screenshots do it justice. That's basically exactly what it looks like. And it's exactly what it does. You add a new habit, then you keep track of, do you do that habit?
It looks pretty a pretty simple interface. It's definitely not doesn't look like it's gamified like a lot of the habit trackers.
Right. I will say I do like the summary view on the calendar view on the bottom. Um, it's almost like binary, like
Hmm.
looking kind of thing. But it gives you a really quick, easy way to identify how good overall you're doing.
You know what that looks like? It looks like the uh, GitHub. Um,
Oh,
like
you're right.
it shows how
Activity.
active you act. Yeah, how active you've been.
You are right. You are absolutely right.
Like
Hmm.
vitamin D.
Yeah. Something we all need.
Cool. I think we could all use a tracker too, but like you said, like it's just that's the hardest part of it is creating a habit to use the habit tracker.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was just like creating a habit to check in on a beaver every day, it'd be easier, but it seems a bit more difficult with beaver habit tracker.
Might be tired, but yeah.
This one's for Ivor. This is
Oh,
called
great.
this is called Flotilla, and it is kind of a Slack alternative
Hmm.
built on Noster. And I haven't been able to use this one either because I don't have anybody to use it with. And I was wondering if you guys wanted to play with me.
Yeah.
Well, this social media again, is it?
No, well,
No.
Slack is used more for inter uh, intercompany communications and
I hate it already.
how about I write it into a haiku?
Yeah, this to me is a really good idea, only because um, the one of the main reasons I don't like Slack, and I will say, I do believe before anybody in the popular place mentioned the word Slack, we brought it onto this show years and years ago, and I remember clicking through it, and I remember on the show saying, what the hell is this for? I don't what is it? I don't because there's so many other solutions out there that do channelized chats or that kind of thing. Um, in hindsight, the reason it was so successful was companies could, get a account, give it to their employees, and had complete control over editing, historical monitoring, blah 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 blah. But also, it had a really good system of tagging and searching. And that's what this looks like it also has. So it's the kind of thing that I would think is the best case to use for anybody doing development of anything, whether a podcast or an application, because the historical kind of searching through stuff just makes sense. Um, and I'll say, these days to get a good looking interface isn't impossible. And they look like they have a really clean looking interface. Dare I say, part of it reminds me of like Discord. Part of it reminds me of like Voxer. Part of it reminds me of Matrix, which is another like newer IRC type solution or thing. So I'm game.
But it's all based on Noster, is it?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Cool.
this is the same guy um, that developed Coracle, which is a Noster client, and so he also has developed this.
So you can zap people while you're talking to them.
Yeah, looks like it. Zaps, threads, chat rooms, private messages, white label it, custom access policies, web of trust, join
Hmm.
multiple groups, event calendar.
Yeah, very
Open
good stuff.
source. It's on GitHub as well.
Could start a Beaver Appreciation Society.
Somebody needs to.
Save a tree, eat a beaver, Ivor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Now, seriously, I don't know what the hell I saw. I'll put it like that. But I had been driving before, and I literally at one point in time I was by the Harford County Detention Center off ramp. It's a clover leaf, and one time on that clover leaf there was a beaver, and that beaver was big, and its tail was huge. It blew me away, and it literally just stood there on the side of the ramp, just waiting patiently for people to stop so he could go across or she could go across, whatever. Um, Today I went out of my road and I turned up, and then all of a sudden I'm driving, and there's, I think it was a gopher or something, like like was a good like foot tall, just sitting there on its back legs, looking up, not moving. And I just like was driving and I saw it, and I'm like, is that what? And there was nobody behind me, so I literally stopped right next to it, and it just stood there motionless. So I whistled, it didn't move. I screamed, it didn't move. And then I hit the horn, and when I hit the horn, it like completely freaked out and ran away.
Maybe it's just looking for a ride, Door.
Well, if it was a beaver, it would have had a chance.
Yeah, that's like I said. That's the best way to get a lift.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna bring this
You
train
guys
back to the
12.
track, so I've
Well, yes, I think I might. So we all have heard of Shazam. We've all used Google to try and find out what is that song? What is that song that's playing right now? And this app is called Audire, Audire. What it does is it identifies songs by listening to them. And you can, hang on a sec, let me just see the description. It just says identify music playing around you. So it requires Android 5 and up, rated for 3 plus. Released in November 2023, last updated December 23. So it has been a while since it was updated. 1,000 plus downloads. So it's not a very well used one, but I've used it a couple of times. And what I think probably the most useful information I get out of it is the album that is associated with the song. So you can find the artist and the album, and it'll tell you that. But more importantly, it gives you an option other than Shazam or Google to identify music that's around you.
Well, and I'll add permissions. It needs nothing, basically. Microphone and network access. That's incredibly low for such an app. Updated December 5th, 2023. If somebody writes an app correctly, it doesn't need
it.
updating. Okay. 3, when I look at the data privacy thing, no data is shared with third parties. No data is collected. And it works with all those. I mean, okay, I'm kind of shocked, but okay, because usually for that kind of stuff to work, it needs to be intrusive, it needs to trace, it needs to track, it needs to share, all kinds of stuff.
No, it works really well. It does work really. You have to be, I think, close to the sound source, but it works pretty well. Yeah.
Well, that's fair.
A few times I've used it.
Right, and there's no in-app purchases, and there's no ads.
Nope. Yeah.
So it must be by Putin, I guess. I don't know.
Clearly, Vladimir Putin is behind this app.
Mm-hmm. Vlad, as the boys call him.
Vlad. On first name terms, are you?
Yeah. Very cool. I definitely like that.
Yeah.
So do you have any more, Josh?
What can't I live without? I found one on your list, which I was kind of wondering if you had used yet. Also on F-Droid, which is called WhoBird.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like it says recognize birds by their sounds anywhere in the world. And I know we've brought at least one or two other bird identification apps, and this one looks like it uses AI to, I don't know, everything uses AI, so whatever.
I mean, you might as well say it uses code.
Yeah.
The main reason I installed this app was short tangent. I listened to one of my science podcasts, and the guy said what a lot of people don't understand is how much bird activity there is at night. Most people think when the sun goes down, birds just go to sleep. There's actually a metric ton of bird activity at night. And what he did was he literally went to remote regions and just set up microphones to just hear sounds all night. And what he found was um, he was able to use machine learning, um, figure out with only 3 microphones where the birds are at, what direction they're going, what speed they're going, and which kind of bird it sounds like, how many of the birds it sounds like, kind of thing. So what I'm now finding out is sometimes I wake up at 4 in the morning and the birds won't shut up. And I keep thinking, I'm sure there's a certain type of bird that's really vulnerable to a certain type of food. I have to know what kind of bird it is first. So I downloaded this app, um, stuck it out my back window and at 4 in the morning. And man, there was like 5 different type of birds it said it was going on. And when I looked all of them up, they all were in my region. So it wasn't like it was identifying something in South America or something. Um, so I mean, it seems like it works. Of course, I didn't, go outside and shoot any of them to verify it was the right bird or not, but it seemed like it worked. The other one I tried, we have trees around our neighborhood, and I tried to find like a tree identifier. No luck yet, but the bird identifier seems to work.
Nice. Yeah, it's around here in the morning, right around dawn. It's just a cacophony of birds. That's
You know,
great. I'll use it. It'll isolate all the different chirps.
right? Yeah,
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
Awesome.
and I just keep thinking, where are all the cats?
Yeah.
I don't know. Very cool. Um,
So I got another one
yeah.
if you want. Okay, so this is called Material Photo Widget. And it's an open source app, but it is available on the Play Store as well. So basically, it will take images you have stored on your phone and display them as widgets on your home screen or any screen you like on your phone. It can be set to cycle through different photos. You can select individual photos. You can change the size or shape of the widget. And it will go through at certain intervals. You can change the interval that the photo changes on. So I can set it for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, an hour, 24 hours if I want. And there seemed to be an option to integrate with your Google Photos, but I could not get that to work. I think there's a little bit buggy, but it actually works quite well when it works. And quite an interesting app. Basically, a nice little slideshow for your photos. But again, you have to have access to your gallery and library.
Definitely looks like it's been around for a little bit, so
Yeah,
there should be some polish to it. But yes, it was just updated April 9th, 2025. So
yeah,
days ago.
there have been a few updates to it. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, permissions, run at startup, install shortcuts.
Yeah. Oh, and there are different options if you tap on a picture, you can go into where the picture is, or you can view it in full screen, or go to your gallery, or use it as a shortcut to open another app or a link. So you've got different aspect ratios, you've got different shapes and colored borders as well if you want those. Opacity, you can change that. Offset and padding and all that sort of stuff. So you can play around. You can spend a bit of time playing around with it. Yeah, but I like it. I have a carousel of photos going past on my screen, which is great.
How many picture apps do you have on your phone? You seem to bring one every week of like different. Now you've got one.
I don't know.
Picture app and then the haikus underneath it.
yeah, I probably got a few actually. I hadn't really thought about it. I'll have to go and count them up.
Very cool, very cool. The one I'm going to bring actually isn't in my notes. And why do I think I just screwed up my stream? Yeah, I did. There it is right there. Um, okay. This is going to sound like old man stuff, but I kind of hinted at it earlier. There used to be a website called Stumble Upon. And what Stumble Upon was basically you would just go there. And if you logged in, it would keep history and try to figure out an algorithm, but it would just hit you with random links. And then you would just look at the page and you would either say thumbs up or thumbs down. Was it cool or was it not cool? Near the end, it basically wanted to go more almost like memes or gifs or images or very like short content is the way I'll put it. Um, the other day, just for giggles, I said, well, let me go to stumbleupon.com. And when I did, it basically pushed me over to this. And this app is called Mix hyphen Expand Your Mind. Um, I'll just say this: the logo I think it's really cool. The icon, the app icon, because it is an M with different stuff going on. But it's by Mix Media Group LLC, 4.7 average reviews, 100,000 plus downloads. T for teen, no in-app purchases, no ads. Data safety: it will get some data, it will collect some other data. It is encrypted in transit. You can request the data be deleted. I didn't say anything about third parties. The other stats are version 3.2.5 updated January 16th, 2025, 6.0 Android and up. So again, incredibly old stuff. Permissions: it's only going to need access to a lot of stuff at once. Camera, because you can post new stuff. Storage, so you can save stuff that you see. Photos, media file, if you want to upload instead of a picture of you, a photo of you. And then other network access, control vibrations, prevent device from sleeping when you're watching a video kind of thing. Um, but what I like about this is I don't have to log in. I can just load the app and just start hitting plus and or thumbs up, thumbs down. If it's thumbs down, it immediately skips it. If it's thumbs up, it sits there and either watches the GIF or the movie, um, or just the image, and then you just swipe up to go to the next one. After 4 or 5 things a day, the screen will be like, do you want to create an account? If you create an account, you get these pluses. You can just swipe up again and it just skips it and goes to the next thing. Um, so as of yet, I haven't created an account. Once a day, I get a notification basically saying there's a new mix for me to look at. And I just click it, and then there's like 4 or 5 different screens. Sometimes it's thumbs down, thumbs down, thumbs down, thumbs down, thumbs up. But sometimes it's some pretty cool different kind of things. So it's just one of those little things that every day I don't have to doom scroll. I don't have to look at other people complaining about geopolitics, race, sports, balls, or any of that, or NASCAR. I can just look at this stuff. Um, you know, so I just thought it was a good non-negative distraction thing.
Yeah, I used to use Stumble Upon quite a lot back in, I think, 2010, something like that. And yeah, it died, of course, because all good things die. And yeah, it got replaced with this Mix. I did try Mix for a while, but it wasn't as good. But it may have improved since then. I'm not sure. It probably has. Couldn't have gone worse. But yeah, I think this is what people used to use before Instagram came along, and it's kind of languished in a corner of the internet somewhere.
Yeah.
What I liked about it when it was Stumble Upon was it would take you to sites that were not very often visited.
Mhm.
You get some sort of off the wall stuff that would come through.
Right.
And over there under similar apps is the B Soul Legacy Planner again.
Huh.
Oh, really?
Not for me, I'm happy to say. I'm youthful.
I still don't know what that app does.
I'm not clicking. I don't know.
No.
Very cool. Okay, I didn't know if you guys wanted to round third or not.
Round third. Is that a cricket reference?
Sure, yeah. One of those sports ball things.
Actually, here's one I was going to bring. I wasn't going to bring, but I will. I'm
It's
sorry.
almost like the
I was,
comedian Mitch Hedberg. He said, "I," he said, "I used to do drugs. I mean, I still do, but I used to too."
hang on a sec. Trying to see.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
He also
sorry.
said, I don't have a girlfriend, but there is a girl in the audience that'll be real mad to hear me say that."
Okay. Sorry about that. This is an app called Jobicy, Jobicy, remote jobs and hiring. Now, the main premise of this app is to uh, supply people with job vacancies or jobs which are supposedly available to be worked from anywhere in the world. So mainly for, I think, for coders and developers and people working on sort of collaborative projects there, where it doesn't really matter where you are, you can work on them anywhere. Um, haven't really, I've had a bit of a look around. I haven't really found a hell of a lot that's available to me because it still seems to be geocentric. Uh, and if I enter Asia Pacific, jobs in finance, there doesn't seem to be a hell of a lot going. But I think mainly if you were a developer, you might have more luck with this one. So it's basically a career platform that connects talented professionals with forward-thinking companies offering remote work opportunities in the English-speaking market. I think that's probably an important point, having an English-speaking market option. But I don't know. So you find the best remote work for developer, design, marketing, and more. So it is also for people who are looking for to advertise people. So it's currently up to version 2.8.1, requires Android 5 and up, content rated for 3+, in-app purchases. Don't know what those are. Last update on July 24, 10,000 plus downloads. Permissions, photos and media files. So it reads contents of USB storage, modify or delete the contents of your USB storage. Seems to be assessed with your storage, and then it gets other full network access as well. But that's about the only permissions it's looking for. So I imagine someone who's in a, more like you guys, I suppose, Josh, in a developer role would probably find this useful to pick up temporary positions or something like that for a company that's not really particular about where it's hiring from and what particular country around the world. I thought it was an interesting aspect. To most job apps seem to be related to the particular country that you're in and a particular role, but this seems to be focused on remote working for development projects. So,
Well, did you look up anybody looking for a Kiwi vibe coder?
it's just the vibe. It's Marbo. It's the Constitution.
Well, I'm gonna say, I don't know if either of you know what I think about when I hear this app, but there's been some news recently, is what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Josh, have you heard it?
Don't know.
Okay. The only reason I know it is because I have two friends who work in the security industry around DC, Baltimore area. Both of them independently don't know each other, but they told me almost the exact same story. New hire, guy came on today. I mean, literally everybody I know who's gotten a job in tech in the last since COVID is full-time remote. Maybe once every 6 months you go into the office. That's it. Okay. Both of them said new employee. Then we ship them a laptop. They get the laptop. Less than 2 or 3 weeks later, they get an alert saying something's installed on their computer that shouldn't be. Okay, whatever. Contact the user. Look, this happened. Don't worry about it. We got rid of it. Boom, 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 boom. Very next day, same exact application gets installed, but now it's under a different name or a different hash kind of thing. But it's the exact same thing. So then they call them up again. This happened. Don't worry about it. What we're going to do is we're going to send you a new laptop. And then every time the person says, "Oh wait, No, it doesn't matter. I'm sorry. I have to quit. My family member back home is sick, so I have to go home like right now. And what it turns out is there are actually people in North Korea accepting jobs to get into companies. Um, and they've actually been very successful at it because they actually have really good developers and programmers up there. Um, so when they get into the job, if they don't get caught doing those things, they actually turn into good model employees with good, you know, stuff that they're submitting. It just so happens they're also spying on everything at the same time. Um, the US
Wow.
market has got kind of hip to it. So late last month they said how every North Korean attack now they're seeing is moving to the EU, and they're just trying to get as much foothold as they can in that area right now. So if you're hiring remote people, it's very important to and here's the other thing. They were all using AI translation tools to where they
Yeah.
did not sound like North Koreans. They literally sounded like Texans or Canadians kind of thing. They said the only way they were able to tell something was going on was there was always like a second or two delay in whatever they said. And the one guy was like, I just thought, he was using like an IP phone and there was just some lag. I didn't even think of it. Um, he said, but then after I was reading the articles, that's exactly what was happening to me at work, kind of thing. So,
Wow. And
yeah.
were they installing spyware on the company laptop, were they?
No, yeah, every time. Yeah.
And they're working outside of North Korea, obviously, because they weren't shipping laptops to North Korea.
Well, what happened is, okay, now are you ready for this? Every time when the company then looked at that person who they hired, it turned out to be a real person. It was like a teacher in South Carolina or a um,
Ah, okay. Right. Yeah. So
janitor in
identity
North Dakota.
assimilation. Yeah.
Well, and they had people in that local area who had those identities stolen, and they would get the laptop there. So the IP address looked legit. They would just the people would VPN in from North Korea to that laptop, then that laptop back out. So it was very
Wow.
difficult for the companies to figure out what was going on. In one instance, the guy said what happened was there's no way there was a VPN on the laptop. He said there had to have a router that had VPN on it, and that router was connecting to there and connecting to that laptop, which makes it almost impossible to trace without you knowing in advance what's going on.
Mm.
So yeah, the of course I'm sure some AI security can fix all that, but not yet.
Well, you know what they say, North Dakota is the North Korea of the United States.
Then you must know people from North Dakota. Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of interesting. I don't want it to ruin people who work remote though. Oh man, because when I retire, I'm only working remote. That's it. I mean, hell, OnlyFans can do it. Why can't I?
No, exactly. Shut your own OnlyFans door.
I'm just saying.
Beaver habit.
Josh does.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm poor, Ivor. That's why I'm
Yeah.
Well,
You
we
got
all
your own
have.
Beaver channel.
Apparently, if you just sign up, you don't get money.
No, we pay you not to take your clothes off.
Only pants.
OnlyFans, yeah.
So, does anyone want to do a rundown, or you have any more apps?
Nope,
No,
that's it. I'm
good.
out.
Yeah, because everything I have, I don't know if it's worth bringing. That's what I'll say.
So there's a bit of a discussion on Google TV and a phone with a 33,000 mAh battery and the LilyGo T-Deck Pro, which is a LoRa 4G compatible smartphone. There's a bit of talk on the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip and misdemeanors. Motorola Razr Click keyboard, self-hosting clusters on old phones with Postmark OS, The Haiku Camera by Exceed Tech LLC. D-Minder by Ontometrics. Voronoi by Visual Capitalist. Visual Capitalist by Voronoi. Material Photo Widget by Philippe Bellotti. Beaver Habits by Dia0576. Flotilla. Dyer by Alex Mercendrind.
Or dire.
Who Bird?
Dire.
Recognized
Or
bird
that's
sounds
you, man. Dire.
Mix, Expand Your Mind by Mix Media Group, LLC. Jobacy, Remote Jobs and Hiring by Jobacy. And ChatGPT wrote a haiku for us. 3 dudes, Mike's alive, debate apps and crashes loud, code and laughter fly.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It did it. Yeah. There it is.
I think that's all of them.
Very cool. Very cool. Do you have any words of wisdom for the people, Ivor?
Oh no, I'm probably the least wise person in the world. So no,
Well,
not
how about
really.
words of wisdom because you're not young?
um, well, just want to thank everybody for listening to us drone on about apps and other technology for a while. Even Josh learning about Bitcoin. Yeah, thank you for listening to us and for continuing to listen to us in the future.
Very cool. Very cool. Josh, have any insights or epiphanies or
The seasons, they are a changing, and with it, you can use these times of the year to contemplate your own self and maybe change with the seasons. Try to find the parts about yourself that you don't like, and then shave your beard, Ivor. But yeah, that's about it.
and then maybe find some birds to kill or something. But um yeah. I will say I always have a blast doing this. Always have a blast hanging with you guys. And I want to thank everyone for the chat for coming out and hanging out. Always a great time, I think. We had some really good stuff. I still can't understand shows that stop because they say they don't have the content. I mean, do they not know how to use the internet? I don't understand it. I mean, I'm no genius. Trust me, my wife tells me all the time. But I'm going to do better at publishing shows in a more timely fashion is my short-term goal. You got to make short-term goals that are realistic, or else you're going to make goals that are unrealistic, and you'll always be down and sad. So that's my short-term goal, including strangling the new teenager, probably. But
Yeah.
I digress. Thanks everyone for
Do
downloading.
that before you buy him a new phone.
No, I'll just take it.
You could probably do it with the phone, right? The flip phone.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember, man. w- Without a confession, there's no case. That's the bottom line. Yeah. So thanks for everyone for downloading, subscribing, participating, putting up with us kind of thing. Do not forget these very easy aaa@podnutz.com is the email you can use. 607 Podnut is the voicemail number you can use. We are all actively on Voxer. We are actively on some Noster services. We are actively on Voxer, and we are actively on things. We're going to soon be active on the flotilla thing. Yeah. That's the thing. At least some of us. So with that, I'll say love, peace, and hair grease. Keep stomping into the 90s. I don't know. Just don't be like Liberace. Take it
Stay
easy,
alive in
everybody.
95.
Yeah.
Pick up a beaver if it's hitchhiking.
I like waivers.
Cheerio.
Showing. We're
What's wrong with my
back
beard?
to showing
Nothing. I love
Finally,
it, dude.
online file.
finally managed to do something which signifies me as an adult. I get mocked for it.
Mm,
Anyway.
export. Okay. Now I have a small bladder. I'll be back. Yeah, and I did have two coworkers say two things to me in the last couple months that I wasn't ready for them to say. The one just looked at me and said, "Hey, Steve, do you have cancer?"
Okay.
Well, I've lost some weight, and well, look, I'll put it like this: they haven't seen me in like 3 years, so I lost a little bit of weight. My head is completely bald, and she said, "Hey, Steve, by any chance do you have cancer?" And her boss was just like face palm right in front of everybody. Oh my god! He said he has eyebrows. Okay, he doesn't have cancer. So I had that.
Not a tumor.
The other thing a employee said to me, there's a very smart female who I work with who I constantly like lean on for like information, like what do you see, like kind of thing. And she at one time said, what do you want me to call you? I said, I don't care. She said, how about Steph? I said, yeah, sure. I don't care. I don't care. Well, she kept calling me Steph, and then another coworker interrupted her last week and said, I'm sorry. Um, do you think he's trans? To which she was just like flabbergasted. And I said, look, if I was, I'd be the ugliest trans I think you've ever seen. So we don't have to worry about that.
Ooh.
But I digress. I'll be back.
It's another sand rock into sand conversation. Is that how you wrote it?
Yeah. Roxane sand, yeah. Roxane dirt, yeah.
It's got to be at least one.
So Red's in the chat is going, finally got away from my sister talking to me. She had to describe the latest episode of the female Matlock TV show. I have to say, Red, I have not been tempted to watch that.
Didn't
I
even know.
actually, yeah, I actually haven't been tempted to rewatch the original. But I don't know. Matlock, I think, was before my time. Open a new window. There we go.
How is it, Eric, doing?
Oh, he seems to be okay. He's not in the chat today.
Yeah, I saw that.
Never mind. How you getting on anyway? How's the son? How's your kids? Kid.
Yeah, he's good. He got his.
When you having more? You gonna have some more kids?
No, I'm like 90 years old, man.
Oh man, you should have more kids.
No, he's good. He just got his red tip in Taekwondo. He needs one more, and he'll have his yellow belt. So that's pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah,
my boy's getting into martial arts as well. He does kung fu.
Oh wow!
And he just started going to this thing called Hapkido, which I don't know what it is, but it seems to be based on personal combat styles.
Huh?
But,
is it like a
yeah.
mixed martial art? Or?
Seems to be. Apparently, it's this one guy who just made it up on his own, really. And now he's teaching it to other people. Apparently, he trains the police as well. Gives them three weeks training.
There's a couple of them, yeah, where they just give themselves titles and accolades, and then
yeah.
If
But
they,
this guy seems legit. So,
well, if he starts, I forgot what I was going to say.
I will say, I know there's one former MMA guy who was doing training to cops in the USA, and they literally showed that the cops who had his training had less rates of incidents of stuff because they knew how to properly de-escalate, number one, but number two, how to properly stop somebody without like breaking their neck, kind of thing.
Okay.
Real quick, Josh, I don't know how good quality of a picture that is coming through.
Yeah,
Um,
no. Is that a credit card holder or what is it?
well,
Oh,
and
no,
like
yeah,
that's the bottom. You see that
okay.
little grate? That's from the bed. Um,
Yeah,
this is 3D printed, and I literally expanded this way, like 210%, which usually means like critical fail. Um, but like these lines go all the way through, and what they do is they make it so nothing falls out, like period.
yeah.
But I do this, boop, and I have
Ha,
my
cool.
cards.
Nice.
Um,
Was that on your A1 Mini?
and I will say that's what I'd say. The quality of prints that I get out of that printer is sick. Um, the app, the Bamboo Studio, basically has a built-in function where it searches maker something. What's it called? Maker something. M-A-K.
Maker Mark?
Maker World. Maker World. Um, so we're basically anything on that website, if you click download in the app, it basically is completely ready and
Oh,
customized
nice.
and ready to go. Worst case scenario, you have to go to the top and just pick your printer. And then if you have the multicolor filaments, really easy to pick what color is what. And then you just hit print. No, you don't need to know any tweaking in a slicer or anything unless you insist on, well, I don't want this to take 40 minutes. I want it to be done in 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Then you need to know the tweaking in the slicer. But if you don't, dude, this is literally like Prusa level painlessness. Um, every time I do a print, I just say, go ahead, bed level and do this kind of thing because I don't care if it takes an extra 3 minutes. I know it's going to come out clean. Um, the multicolored stuff I've done so far, I mean, it's really unbelievably good, is what I'll say.
Nice. Yeah, we've been looking at the A1, the regular
Yeah.
size A1.
Yeah. The guy right down the street from me, about a mile and a half, he has the A1, the normal A1. I have the mini. And look, just go into that maker world and just put in A1 accessories, and you'll see all the different things you can print for it. And it's kind of insane because
Nice.
that's one of the, like, to me, that's one of the KPI, like in business terms, the KPI is the key performance indicator.
Right.
You know, the amount of accessories that you can make for a printer is directly proportional to how like cool it is. You know what I mean? If it's a really crappy printer, you're only going to have a couple accessories that people contribute.
Cool. Yeah, that's good to know. I mean, it's just
Well,
with shipping up here, it's going to be like $750.
well, I know in the US with tariffs, bada bing, you gonna suffer, brother. But yeah, so be thankful. I had a guy literally in Lithuania. I mean, he's not far from like war. And he said to me, right now I'm really happy I don't live in America.
Why?
We have a guy claiming emergency over stuff that's been happening for like 20 years and insisting that tariffs, he's had 87 different tariff policies announced and acted since he got into office, which means uncertainty. Business, economics, society needs some level of certainty because I need to know tomorrow how much my bread's going to cost. I need to know tomorrow how much something's going to cost, or at least close to it, so I can plan for such a thing. And if I'm a business, I need to be able to project for months how much this is going to cost. So I can know, so I can tell the investors that we're going to make this amount of profit over this amount of time. And with uncertainty means, I don't know.
But the world is, pretty uncertain. Well, you're talking about inflation, I suppose, but
No, not inflation.
I don't
He's
know.
randomly putting tariffs on things. And what the number one, all you got to know about a tariff is not a tariff. A tariff is a tax. And if we put a tariff on China, China cannot pay for that tariff with yen. That tariff can
Yeah,
only be
yeah,
paid with American dollars. And where does
yeah.
the American dollars come from? It doesn't come from China. The American dollars come from America, which
Yeah,
only
they have
means
to buy the American dollars to pay
no,
for
they
it, right?
don't. No, they don't. That's not how it works, dude. No, 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 no. The American consumers or the people bringing the stuff into
Oh, they pass
country
the cost on.
have to
Yeah, yeah.
pay the tariff.
Yeah, so it
And
makes
then,
the imported goods more expensive,
right.
and it
And all it
makes
means is that
the
China,
non-imported goods more attractive.
right. And all it means is that China then has less demand to ship in. So that's how they suffer. But we suffer because all of a sudden stuff costs insanely more than it should
Yeah,
for no reason.
yeah. I mean,
It's a tax on me without calling it a tax, which is one thing
mm,
the government's great at, taxing people without calling it taxes, whether it's
yeah,
a subsidy or whatever.
I concede tariffs have never worked, and they've quite often been disastrous. So
Dude,
I
the
don't know.
last time an American president went this tariff crazy, I want
Mm,
to say it was William Taft. Pretty sure.
yeah, yeah.
He went crazy. And then for the next 60 years, Republicans could not get a majority in the Senate or the House because of
Mm.
him. I mean, history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes.
When was that? Was that
I want to
in
say
the
30s,
1800s, 1930s? Right, right.
20s or 30s. But yeah, for
Yeah.
60 years, the Republicans could not get a majority in the House or the Senate. And the whole time, the Democrats just sat in a corner getting nothing done because, too much like
Yeah,
work.
but tariffs have always been a presidential power. They've never
No,
they,
wrong.
they were taken.
No,
No, but
no,
they used to be
no.
congressional. They used to be congressional, but they
They
were
are
taken out.
congressional. They are not
Are they?
presidential. They are only
Are they?
presidential because he declared there's a emergency. And the
Ah,
emergency is
I get
fentanyl
you now.
coming over
Right,
the border. So because he
right, right,
declared an
right.
emergency, he now has these extra powers. But
I get
putting
it.
a tariff against Venezuela or Vietnam has nothing to do about fentanyl.
No, I was thinking about the history of tariffs in the US, which I know very little about. But
Well, the ones that
um,
abuse it are presidents. You're right.
yeah, yeah. But I always thought it was. It used to be a congressional power. I'm talking about the 1800s, and they screwed it up so badly that they decided to give it to the president
No, 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 no,
as
no.
a
No.
individual power for the
No, no.
president. But
Every single
wasn't
dollar
I'm not sure about that.
spent and how it gets spent, or every single dollar raised or how it gets raised, is Congress. That's their
Right.
job. Hence, they can give themselves raises. You know what I mean? That's their job. Every dollar that gets spent from the federal government, judicial has nothing to do with it. President has nothing to do with it. When it's collected, how much is collected? The president and judicial have nothing to say about it. It's all Congress, unless you
Right.
invoke emergency as a president. Then you can
Right.
do anything. You can declare war, anything.
Can deport people.
Deport people who they shouldn't
Shouldn't be
have.
there in the first place.
Oh, no, no, no. And the judge even says they're not a gang member. We have evidence saying they're not. So
Mm.
bring them back into the country. At least one guy. But dude, El Salvador, dude, if there's one place in the world you don't want to go right now, oh my goodness, it is El Salvador, buddy. You know what's going on there, right?
No, I never clue.
It was a crime-ridden cesspool of rape and murder and drugs and violence. The guy came into power and said, I don't care.
Oh yeah, that bloke. Yeah, 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 yeah. He
Even if
locked
you
them
have
all up.
I don't
Yeah.
care if you even look like a gang member, you're going away without court or anything. You're just going away. And what they did was
Mm.
they made a island jail. So they just take you
Mm.
to the island and just drop you off. And you're never seen from or heard from again. And they've done it with like, I want to say it was almost like 15% of the population. It was some crazy number where they're just anybody who's any trouble, just ship them out to the island, just ship them out to the island, just ship them out to the island. And granted, crimes went down a lot, because people are terrified to do
Yep.
anything kind of thing. So yeah, crimes went down. So we're taking advantage of it by saying we're shipping the unwanted brown people there. Because if you're white, you're fine. with
Yeah.
America.
Yee.
Nuts.
Well, that's how my country got. Well, that's how Australia got started anyway. Sending all the crims off to
You're
Australia.
not wrong. Yeah. America. F yeah. I'm just happy I got a job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just surprised that someone in Lithuania, who I'm sure applies, a country that applies its own set of tariffs and border taxes, quite hefty ones, I imagine. But someone would suddenly say, "Oh, well, I'm glad I don't live in America because all the prices are going up."
Well, the picture he showed me was actually hysterical. Once a year, there's this festival that some people still celebrate. And when he showed pictures, it's nothing but the old USSR flags everywhere, where those people
Okay.
want to be part of the old Soviet Republic. And he's like, don't you understand what happened to us then?
What happened? Yeah.
Yeah. So
People have amnesia about this, historical amnesia about how wonderful it was.
well,
No.
we all have rose-colored glasses about some things.
Yeah.
I'm not special. Well, my mama said I was special.
Well, I was talking about my son at the introduction of the first of the podcast, and we were having a discussion about how socialism doesn't work. And he goes, he actually gave me the line, "Well, that wasn't real communism."
That's what they always say. They always say that.
That wasn't real communism. Oh, really? Okay. Wow.
Or they just didn't do it right.
Yeah.
Right.
It just went. Yeah.
And then I always rebut with, it doesn't matter. People are corruptible. If you give too much power to anybody, because in socialism there has to be somebody at the top dictating, pointing, directing stuff, and they get corrupt. Well, my friends just need a little bit more than the other people, so we can just take it from them. And then it's a little bit more, then a little bit more, then a little bit more, then a little bit more, until thousands of people are dying on the street from starvation while we're just sitting there drinking the bubbly with orgies and stuff. So, yeah,
Bubbly with orgies. Yeah.
That's what happens when ultimate power corrupts.
Yeah.
Putin. Hence Putin and Ping. And
yeah, exactly.
Jun Il. I can't never remember his correct last name.
Kim
Jong Il.
Yeah. The guy with the worst haircut ever, and they think he's a god.
Well, if you scored a 9 golfing 18 holes.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. And I
3 holes in one in a row. Yeah.
I love when somebody tries to tell me, well, that's proof that atheism is evil because North Korea is an atheistic country because they don't believe in Catholicism or Catholic. I was like, excuse me, you don't understand. Their religion is that leader. And you understand that their actual leader is dead. The guy who you're looking at is the second in charge. His dad is actually the
cult in anyone's book.
Yeah, exactly. And then I share the stat, at least in America, 89% of all inmates in federal prison are religious and claim to be religious. I wonder why. Yeah, exactly. That's right. Yeah, if you want somebody to do something incredibly evil, if you want good people to do bad things, all you gotta do is introduce religion. Because then they have an excuse. Well, God told me to do it. The book told me to do it. Sad but true.
Oh, well.
Don't get me wrong, plenty good has came from religion in the past. But if I ask you,
name one thing.
Wait a minute.
Crusades.
Okay.
Not the Crusades.
No. The guy who basically first prophesized and imagined the Big Bang.
Oh, the Big Bang. Right.
Was the Catholic priest.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah. And he basically coined the term Big Bang, trying to make fun of it, saying how outlandish it actually could be.
Right. Turns out it was
Jokes on
right.
him. Jokes on him.
Bang, is that in the beaver tracker?
Exactly. So I'm going to try to think of a second thing that they did good.
Sistine Chapel. How's that? That the Pope's private chapel that
Well,
nobody could see for 300 years.
a very beautiful, the architecture with some of these religions is amazing, is what I'll say.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just absolutely. And then,
Well, you got that much money, you can do whatever you want.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But one of the best architectural things I saw in ancient religion was how they would fool the people to believe they had powers. They had mechanical things that when you would light this fire, it would then do this thing and then slowly do that thing that would then cause these doors to open, like huge.
Oh, that was in
20-foot door.
Greek temples. Yeah, they used to have all that set up.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the ones we've been able to reproduce and document were Greek, but they believe this stuff's been going on for like 3,000 years, to where they've known this, like the secret community know this. And you got to imagine, if you're a poor peasant that doesn't even understand the earth is round, or we get sick from germs, and you
wait, hang on. The Earth is round.
you know what I mean? And then you like walk up to this door and it magically opens on its own. Well, this has to be.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
It
Yeah.
Makes you want to be an altar boy.
Just
One more thing that the religion has brought to the forefront.
And one of the requirements is you can't have too complicated of a pants on.
Yeah, or pants at all. Here, put this gown on.
Oy vey, man. Yeah. Can you tell I'm getting more bitter with old age?
Hey, I've got a couple show title possibilities.
It's got to have a beaver in it.
One of them does for sure. Offensive weapon. Perfect perfect beaver.
Perfect beaver. Yeah.
And old man stuff butt.
Man.
Old man stuff butt.
Might have been taken out of context, but it was said.
It was.
Oh
man.
What about haiku beaver?
Yeah.
Beaver haiku.
Beaver haiku, yeah.
Yeah, so like, see, I have such a horrible track of time. So I'm going to say somewhere around this time last year, I was like 225 to 230 in pounds in my weight. And now I'm like 182.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, you look thinner.
Well, my blood pressure was like 160 over like 110. And then I found this new drug that I really liked. And the doctor said, well, if your blood pressure doesn't go down, I'm going to have to take you off that. So I know with me, every time I lose like a pound, my blood pressure goes down at least a little bit. So yeah. So now my blood pressure is around like 120 something to high 80s or low 90s on like average.
Wow.
Yeah, but I still got to get it down a little bit more. That's the problem. Which means I'm going to have to do like cardio shit. Which I don't want to do. Oh, yeah. That was the other thing I was surprised to say. The podcast, extremely family friendly, because once you say anything bad, you get that explicit rating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the old rap albums, parental advisory kind of crap. On YouTube, it's the opposite. On YouTube, you have to say, I'm kid friendly. And if you don't, you can say fucking anything and they don't care. Well, unless you talk bad about a government or something, you know what I mean? But yeah, so that's the difference. So when the show ends, you can basically almost say anything you want and we're not going to get blacklisted or X marked or whatever. It took me so long to figure that out.
Red.
Well,
with the F-bombs.
I've hung around Red and Red's seen some shit. So he's fine. I mean, he is a government employee, so, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, Orion. I hope everything's safe. Orion was just in a nasty flooding area.
Oh,
Like there
Oh
was
yeah,
four,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, there was 4 ways to get out of his area, and 3 of them you are not getting through unless you got like a John boat.
That was Greg, was it?
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Took me a second. Yeah. So I'm happy to see Orion still clicking and ticking and clocking and rocking. Ooh,
Yeah, I'm
Hmm.
I'm down under 190 for the
damn,
first time in quite some time as well.
good.
But I'm also
I have
6
no
foot
idea what a
4,
pound
so
is. What is a pound in kilos? Is it three kilos to a pound, or what is it?
I want to say it's 2.2 or something like that.
2.2. Yeah.
Pounds to a kilo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Yeah, I have no
So-
idea what my weight is. I gave up checking ages ago.
Wait, let's figure out what my weight is. Kilos to pounds, 2.2. Okay.
Yeah,
And then
220 pounds in kilos is 99.
like, oh, how much? Oh, I don't even know how many kilos I am. Doesn't matter. How many stones are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone used to talk about how many stones they weighed.
Yeah, that's
Right.
because they didn't want to say that they weigh 300 pounds.
Yeah. 4.2 or whatever.
I weigh 8 stones.
What kind of stone? Great big bloody granite?
Oh, my goodness. I saw a
Basalt? What?
great, dude, I saw a great little video the other day. It was Star Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson. He was talking to another like guy who's been in science eye for a long time, and they have a comedian in between them. You know what I mean? Always to like buffer stuff and ask the stupid questions. What do you mean? But at one point in time, it was hilarious because you on the video you saw the guy like because he just realized something, and then he just stopped and said, "Oh my god, I need some weed." Oh, because it was literally like blowing his mind. He couldn't keep up with it. I was like, "Oh my god, that was so." I mean, that to me was like one of the most funny things I've seen like the last couple months. Because I love comedy, you know what I mean? Can't help it.
2.2 pounds. Okay.
Yeah, and I did watch, of course, The Castle again, like February, I want to say.
Nice.
Hi, my name is Dale Kerrigan. This is my story.
We lived it.
It wasn't his fault. He got mixed up with the wrong people. He didn't mean it.
Hey,
I could have done better.
you
Dal.
remember the lawyer Dennis Denuto
Of course.
and that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, where he
Um,
literally wrote the note. What was it? Fucking awesome, or what did he say?
Oh yeah.
I've seen
You want some water?
Yeah.
I like how he like dictates to it,
Water?
and then he just turns his chair around and then starts typing it out. Like he's
Fucking thing is jammed
so-
again. I cleared tray 2.
What the fuck do you mean?
Mhm.
But he was in another. I'm just trying to look it up here. Hang on, in my-
I
I've got it in my
honestly
thing.
think I saw him last month too. In
Oh,
Australia.
okay.
My wife
So
was
yeah.
watching from Australia.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a new show in Australia called what's it called? Mr. Something. It's about this hitman who lives in Australia and his adventures as a hitman. And Dennis Denuto was the father of one of a murder victim who had been
Right.
being buried in a
I
whatever.
want to say what I saw him in was Harrow.
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 Yeah. Was he in that? Was he? Yeah.
I swore
Okay.
it was him. Man, I thought it was somebody from The Castle. I know it wasn't. I thought it was Dennis in that show because as soon as I saw it, I just popped. And my wife was like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "Oh my god!"
It's Dennis Denuto.
But I will say the only reason I watch that show is because that main actor is just, I think, he has the look, he has the sound, he has the delivery. I think he's just
Ian Griffith,
Harrow.
the guy in Harrow. Yeah.
Yeah. The problem is the actor is from Scotland and he will not learn
No, he's Welsh.
a dude. That's like saying, from Kentucky. No, it's Tennessee. It's just right there. Okay. Um, but he, but like he refuses to learn a British accent or an American accent or any other accent. He refuses straight up to do anything with his voice. So he only gets cast as this, and somehow Welsh sounds like Australian, and it works.
Okay.
It does. It does.
It sounds kind of English to me, but
Sounds
could be wrong.
German to me. Like, I can't understand. What
The other show my wife watched him in was Elsbeth. I want to say it's called Elsbeth. It's some weird ditzy older woman with outlandish clothes in a like New York or Chicago police thing where she figures out crimes, whatever.
oh, okay, yeah.
And like he
Still
was a
watching
guest
that
star on
movie.
one of the shows, and I thought, man, I remember him. He's really good. So then she looked up and she found Harrow, and we basically just binged through the whole thing.
Yeah, there's another series that the guy in Harrow, Ian Griffith, does
Mm.
called Forever,
Mm.
which is also quite good. It was done in about the early 2000s, so it's a bit dated, but it's actually quite good.
It wouldn't shock me if she's watched it.
Have you watched
Yeah.
Fist?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
What?
My Plex server is down. for some reason.
FISK. It's another Australian. Yeah.
FISK.
FISK. So I've got it on my Plex. Oh, you can't watch it on my Plex.
Thanks, Elon.
Why isn't my Plex working?
Okay, that is a very weird smile she has. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, she's hilarious though.
I think you'd enjoy it. Dora.
Mm.
There you go. Oh yeah, so the series I'm talking about is called Mr. In Between.
Mm. Well, it is on Netflix. Fisk is on Netflix, so it should be easy to watch.
Yeah.
In between.
Mr. In Between.
Oh, Mr. In Between.
And it's in between is one word. For
Hmm.
some reason I don't
Got
know
it.
why.
I see it.
It's actually quite good. It's not a comedy like
Special
anything
effects.
else, but
Well,
it's
I don't expect
quite good.
him to be that. From 2018,
Yeah.
three
Yeah, something
seasons.
like that.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Scott Ryan. Who's in this? I thought you said he was in it.
Yeah, he is in it. He does a cameo basically.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. He's in one episode.
Yeah,
I think.
I'll say looking at the top like 5 or 6 people, I definitely noticed a couple of them.
Okay. Yeah, it's quite. I mean, it's not a polished TV series by any stretch,
that.
but it's quite good.
Right. I just
I
want
thought.
something that's interesting and different.
Have you
Yeah,
watched
it is.
the Detectorists?
Oh yeah, I watched one episode. I couldn't get into it.
Oh,
I suppose I had to give another go, but yeah.
I tell you right now, one that the wife is watching, and I've only sat through like maybe, I don't even know, 2 or 3 episodes, and it's brand new. It's called The Pit, and it's basically a Pittsburgh hospital. And the main actor is the guy who was in the crappy Librarian series. Do you remember the Librarian series?
Yeah. My kids love that.
My wife loves it, and I ain't gonna lie, it kind of got me too. Noah Weil is the name. But it's a hospital thing, almost like we're like 24. Every show is a part of the day, and the next show is just a continuation. You know what I mean? Just keeps going. Where it isn't like you tune in and then all of a sudden it's 3 months later. No, it's always right after the last episode, and quite serious is the way I'll put it. Yeah. But yeah, I thought he was doing fantastic job acting, because I kept thinking, God, he's doing a really good job. God, where do I know him from? And then I was like, holy crap, he's the guy from Librarian, which I don't think is being a greatly acted thing. You know what I mean? It's hokey, it's kooky,
Yeah, it's off the wall.
Mhm.
I liked it when that was the lawyer from Night Court, isn't it?
Jonathan. Oh my God, what's his name? I know.
John.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
Dan
right.
Fielding. Dan Fielding was his character name.
Mm.
Damn. Yeah, he has a certain amount of cockiness in his delivery that just makes him perfect.
He's an excellent sleaze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Firefly, dude, Firefly's great, and I
Yeah.
love seeing the horror from Firefly and other stuff.
I haven't seen Firefly.
You know who I
Watch
mean,
that.
right?
Really? Oh man,
No.
that's a great series.
Oh my goodness, dude,
Only
Nathan
ran for
Fillion,
what, one season, two seasons?
2 seasons, I believe. Yeah, Nathan Fillion in his finest. Oh my goodness, such a talent, and everyone else on the show too. The
Yeah.
dude, the horror, the pilot, the guy from Carnival with the arm that won't extend all the way. I can't remember his name. He was like the brute, like the shooter guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Was
was in
that
the army.
Baldwin?
Yeah, Baldwin. Yes, but he's not a Baldwin, but he's a Baldwin. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
He has an issue with his elbow to where he can't straighten his arm like past that. But if you don't look for it, you'll never know it in the show.
That's like Radar from MASH.
Exactly,
Just one
exactly.
hand that was always behind his clipboard.
Yep, and there's a reason for that. Yeah, yeah, there's a reason for that. Yeah, yeah, maybe Firefly was.
What was wrong with Radar?
He had a deformed hand.
Yeah, his hand was.
Did he? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, kind of like Scotty
Didn't
in
know
Star
that.
Trek. Have you ever noticed?
No.
He doesn't have all his fingers.
No, that was
Ah.
Spock. That's different.
No, no, no. Scotty was a war veteran where he literally lost a finger in war,
Oh, okay.
and they did a really good
He was
job.
Canadian, wasn't he?
No, he was Scottish. No, no, wait.
Or
No,
No,
what?
no,
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 sorry,
no.
sorry. The accent was
He's
Scottish.
about
even
as
though he
Scottish as
wasn't
I am.
Scottish at all. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But he did it so well. Was it Canadian?
He's Canadian. Yeah.
Was it?
Pretty
I
sure he's
can't-
Canadian.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Jimmy Doohan, I think it is his name.
Yeah. Sounds right. Sounds right.
Have you guys watched? Did you watch Louder Milk?
No.
That's
Louder Milk.
Louder Milk. Yeah, it's the what's his nuts from Office Space?
Steve Carell.
No, not the Office. Office Space.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay. Well, there's a couple of them there.
The main guy. I can't.
Yeah,
Remember.
I know. I can't remember his name.
But that's on Netflix as well, and it's pretty funny. He just
Okay.
does
Okay.
flying
I've
car.
seen him in a couple of things, and I will say I do like him in everything I see, but I've never seen Louder Milk. Okay. 3 seasons, so there's plenty to watch. Yeah.
I would recommend there's a great TV series that came out, I think, in 2015. It's called Patriot.
Hmm.
I'll give you the link in the chat here to the IMDb link. But it is hilarious. And it's about this guy who's a CIA agent and the various things he has to go through to get into
Oh,
Iran.
dude, it has Red in it. How can it be bad?
Red Foreman. Yeah, he's the best.
Exactly. Dude, he is a really good. He's a very
he's fantastic,
underrated
yeah.
actor. Very underrated.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's really good in this. It's fantastic.
Do you know what I didn't know? Red was in RoboCop, right?
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah.
He was. The
original
director.
RoboCop. Yeah.
Yeah, the director of RoboCop did 3 movies in succession. If you look at the 3 movies, you'll see, man, one of them was Total Recall. One of them was RoboCop. Can't remember the third, but he specifically told Red Foreman to wear those glasses through the entire movie. He never told him why. The reason the director said was after the fact, he said, well, because it made him look like, I can't remember the guy's name, the German Nazi guy who went to the court and was actually executed. Yeah, him. And because the director
Eichmann.
thought to himself, when he put the glasses on, he looked like him. So keep putting the glasses
Yeah.
on. And he tried to say,
Adolf
well,
Eichmann.
no, it makes you look more educated. It makes you look more serious. He was lying right to his face. It makes you look like a Nazi. Put the glasses on.
Look like a Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah. James Montgomery Doohan was is a Canadian actor born in Vancouver. There you go.
How many Canadians do you know that have got injured in war?
Well, none, but
What?
There were quite a few.
Boomer accents.
Dude, Canadians,
None personally.
Australians do everything in war that has ever been asked of them.
Oh yeah, Kiwis
Yeah.
are the same.
I didn't say they weren't. I just know because of their size, not as many of them because their size. It's genetics. It's
Well,
okay. It isn't the size.
We did bomb Monte Casino.
Mhm.
That's kind of a black mark against
Yeah.
us.
Well, nobody's perfect. Dude, Ryan, I keep hearing about The Expanse. It's one of those things I like even now, like when the wife starts to watch a series and I look at it, I'm like, they're on season 1. I'm not watching this. She's like, what are you
You
talking
haven't
about?
seen The Expanse? Come on,
Be patient.
man.
And I say to her, look, no, I'm not watching anything until it's like season 4 or 5, especially if it's like season 6 or 7 and it ends. Because then at least I know what to expect at ending. Expanse, I think, is still going on. I think.
No, it's finished. Yeah,
It
it
is
went
finished?
6 seasons and that was it. Yeah.
Okay, well then I might have to watch it at 3x. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's especially the first 3 seasons.
Well, I like it because it
It's a bit
sounds
squirrely
like
after
what
that, but
people call hard sci-fi. It isn't fantasy.
it
It
is.
isn't
Yeah.
dragons. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the real.
Well, it's got a bit of fantasy in it, sort of thing. But no, I really like it. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the few
That and there was
Amazon
another
ones.
one.
Oh, I have seen that one. Yeah, that. Yeah.
There was another one I want to say because that one was on Amazon, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm trying to remember the other one. There was another one like that too.
Well, that one, it's like everything else. Like the first 2 seasons are good. And then
Henrik Himmler. I think he got his name right. Yeah. That was the Nazi guy. I think.
Oh, Himmler, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
we watched another show called the Diplomat,
Hmm.
which
No,
is
I didn't like that.
you didn't like that?
No, this it had that woman from the Americans in it, didn't it?
I don't know. I didn't see the American.
That was a unique show right there.
That was a great show. I love the Americans.
Ooh,
Yeah.
man. The problem was, I thought, man, that show's too real. I could definitely see that being real.
Yeah.
We're off.
Yeah.
I put the link to my file up there, Door.
Thank you. Ooh.
And I'm gonna have to get going.
All right, man.
Yeah, I got to go and get my daughter off the bus as well.
Very good to see you, Josh. Very thankful
too, man.
for you guys to come out.
That was fun as always.
Dude, Josh, every time I see a disc golf course, I think, why isn't Josh here? God damn it.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I haven't disc golfed in a while.
Oh, I bet you could still kick my ass.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Yeah, let's do it sometime.
Absolutely.
There's courses around here, or maybe we should just bombard Ivor's house one day.
Dude.
Yeah, you guys are more than welcome. Come and move in. And
Address Door.
Dude, I would love to go to
Follow my dick.
Ireland. I would love to go to Scotland. I would love to go to Copenhagen, but dude, New Zealand is like ridiculous compared to the others. So
it's
beautiful.
like a 2-day flight.
That's okay. I sleep well.
Yeah, I'll take you to Hobbiton when you come here. We're going back in July, early
Is that
July.
the Lord of the Rings place?
Yeah. It's fantastic. It's absolutely. It's like Disneyland for Lord of the Rings
Right.
fans.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Ivor, I'm still thinking about your property, but I haven't had any time.
No, that's fine. I know you're busy, man.
So if you have any like specific questions, I'm happy to chat about it again.
Yeah, I think we're starting to get the weeds under control, the thistles, but they're but no, we're doing all right. Yeah, it's going all right.
All right.
We're about to dive into winter now, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good time to do planning.
All right, guys, I'm going to kill the live stream and I want to.
Ryan, Red, if you're still there, Dad.
yeah. Thanks for coming along, guys. Good to see you.
Exactly. Love you guys.
Yeah, I love you too.